from sold-out Yankee Stadium in New York, the JCS New England Television Network presents exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball. Tonight, Game 1 of a 3-game series between the Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. It's great to have you with us as the Red Sox begin the second half of this 12-game road trip. The first part was a success. The Red Sox were 4-2 in their stops in Seattle and Oakland. As a result, the Red Sox have crept up a little bit on the first-place New York Yankees in the American League East, and there is now talk of a possible race for the division title. The Red Sox realistically would need a sweep of this 3-game weekend set. They're 6.5 back, 22 games remaining for Boston. The Red Sox still lead Oakland by 3 in the wild card race, which really is first and foremost on the minds of most Red Sox fans. Bad news today on the injury front. Kent Mercker is still bothered by those sore ribs. He was scheduled to start here on Sunday, but he's going to miss that start to undergo an MRI. As a result, that means Mark Portugal is back in the rotation tomorrow. He'll be matched up with Hideki Irabu after Pedro Martinez battles Andy Pettitte tonight. And Brett Saberhagen, originally slated to return to action tomorrow, will be pushed back to Sunday to take on Roger Clemens. Joined as always by Jerry Remy. Jerry, the Yankees are taking the Red Sox threat seriously.
Well, you know, I think Yankee followers are a little bit disappointed on the season. They had such a great year last year, and they've kind of cruised through this one. They're so talented, they make it look easy. But Joe Torre, I think, is a little bit concerned. They came off a road trip where they were only 3-3 against teams below 500. He had a team meeting to try to shake things up. He said, look, this thing's not won yet. We still got to go home, and we got to face Pedro Martinez in the first game of that Yankee series. Yankees are pretty much in control of this division, but the fact is Torre trying to motivate them the rest of the season for postseason play. One other thing to watch this weekend, Nomar Garcia-Parra is back in the lineup for the Red Sox tonight. The ankle is still swollen, but he and Derek Jeter tied for that top spot in batting in the American League. It'll be fun.
Always many subplots when the Red Sox and the New York Yankees get together. The first of a 3-game series coming up next as Pedro Martinez goes for win number 21 against Andy Pettitte, who's pitched very well in the second half of the season for New York. Back along the banks of the East River in just a moment.
Marty's here. Okay, let's see a fuel injector for a Ford Probe.
Multiport?
It's too easy. How about a gasket for a Yugo?
With sealer?
EGR valve for a 74 Gremlin. Ah! See you tomorrow, Marty.
Now, at Pep Boys, get Valvoline for only 99 cents a quart. Hurry in. The 99-cent Valvoline offer ends September 12th.
Pep Boys. Cars like us.
People love us.
When you buy a bargain basement PC, what you're really buying is a mystery box. Will there be a monitor? Probably not. Lots of software? Ha! A year on the internet, 24/7 tech support? Dream on. With a Gateway Essential PC, you know exactly what you're getting. Monitor, great software, award-winning tech support, and internet access for $28 a month, or less than $1 a day. No mystery there. Call 1-800-GATEWAY for a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor.
Used to be, if I want something done right, I called me. It worked, until I tried to quit smoking. I needed more than me. I got Nicorette. Nicorette helped me 2 ways. I used it on a regular schedule to help prevent my cravings, and for unexpected cravings, I was ready with an extra piece. I used to be a slave to cigarettes. Nicorette helped me hang on, helped me win. Now that I'm nicotine-free, I gotta tell you, it feels good to win.
Now, Nicorette is available in mint. What a refreshing choice. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received a 5-star frontal crash rating from the federal government. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Experience the joy of driving for only $269 a month. See your Chevy dealer for a great lease on the all-new Impala. Call for lease details.
We're back at Yankee Stadium in New York, where the fans have directed their attention at the screen out in right center field as they remember the career of Catfish Hunter, the Hall of Fame pitcher, spent part of his career here with the Yankees, who died yesterday at the age of 53, a victim of Lou Gehrig's disease. All weekend will fly the flags at half-mast here at Yankee Stadium.
May we ask you to share in a few moments of silent prayer as we remember Jim Catfish Hunter, who died yesterday. Jim Hunter was more than a Hall of Fame pitcher. He was a Hall of Fame human being. As a pitcher for the Oakland A's and the Yankees, his record places him among the greatest. Jim Hunter was not only endowed with extraordinary baseball skills, he was blessed with the wonderful gift of friendship. He was respected and admired by both his teammates and his opponents. Jim Hunter, dead at 53. And now Eddie Layton will play our national anthem.
Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust, and by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. And the New York Yankees take the field before the sellout crowd. The entire three-game weekend series is sold out. And the starting lineups are brought to you by Southwest Airlines. The Red Sox are looking for their 80th win of the year. They are 79-61. They have Jose Offerman, the second baseman, leading off. Darren Lewis bats second and plays right field. Nomar Garcia-Parra back in the lineup after having the game in Oakland Wednesday off. He's riding a 10-game hitting streak. Mike Stanley, the first baseman, is the cleanup hitter. The DH, Butch Husky, will bat fifth. Hitting sixth and playing left field, Troy O'Leary. Damon Buford is the number 7 hitter and center fielder. The catcher, Jason Varitek, will bat eighth, and hitting ninth, the third baseman, Wilton Veras.
The Yankee defense is 8th in the league. They've made 96 errors on the season. Tonight it'll be Scott Brocious at third base, Derek Jeter, the shortstop, Chuck Knobloch at second, and Tino Martinez, the first baseman. Left to right, Ricky Leday, Bernie Williams, and Paul O'Neill. Joe Girardi behind the plate, and on the mound, left-hander Andy Pettit. His season really turned around after all the talk about trading him had gone by. When they got to that trading deadline, there was a lot of talk that Pettit may be heading to another ball club, and it seems like since that did not happen, he has relaxed and pitched very well. He is 12-10 on the season, and he has not faced the Red Sox so far this year, but in his career, 3-1 with an ERA under 3 against Boston ball clubs.
It's amazing how sometimes with a little peace of mind, your performance on the field can improve. Andy Pettit, a gritty competitor, but he apparently was bothered and distracted by all the reports that he might be traded. A lot of talk right around the trading deadline that George Steinbrenner was among those championing the cause of trading Pettit, but Joe Torre convinced Steinbrenner it was a good idea to hang on to this young man, and why not? He's been a big winner over the last 3 years. Pettit won 16 games last year for the Yankees, 18-7 in 1997. He won 21 games while going 21-8 in 1996.
And the other thing, Sean, he's been a very, very good postseason pitcher, and that's one of the reasons they didn't want to give up on him.
You saw Jim Reynolds, the home plate umpire, one of the newcomers in the American League, working with veterans Rocky Rowe, John Hirschbeck, and Durwood Merrill. 10th meeting of the season between the Red Sox and the Yankees. And the Red Sox lead the season series 5-4. The Red Sox lost 2 out of 3 in their first trip to New York back in late May. So here's Jose Offerman to get this one started. Jose hitting .286, 6 homers, 60 runs batted in. First pitch, Pettit turned it over and missed outside. 72 degrees with very high humidity at game time. We had rain here much of the day. Neither team took batting practice on the field. With the skies cleared in the mid to late afternoon, and the forecast is now for a very nice weekend with a reduction in humidity over the weekend. 2 balls and no strikes, the count on Offerman.
Up this morning, Sean, looked like we may be playing a split doubleheader tomorrow, but it's cleared out nicely for the ball game.
It's a very gray start. They had delays not far away at the U.S. Open tennis. 3-0 now as Pettit again missed low and away on Offerman. Brocious even with the bag at third. Martinez playing a deep first, and Pettit throws his first strike of the night. He's facing a hitter in Offerman. He's had an up and down season, and lately he's back on the downslide. Jose just 2 for 19 on this road trip, and 3 for 24 in September after a big month of August. Got him back on track. He hits a little bleeder down the third base line. Pettit to Martinez for the out.
A little surprised that Offerman went at that 3-1 pitch. You have a guy on the mound who had trouble getting the first 3 pitches over the plate. Trying to make him throw another strike and see what happens. See if he can throw 2 in a row. The big swing by Offerman, a little tap out in front of the plate, and a nice play by Andy Pettit to retire him at first base.
Red Sox have 2 slumping hitters at the top of the batting order tonight, with Darren Lewis following Offerman. Lewis down to 254, 2 homers, 35 runs batted in, as he has just 7 hits in his last 45 at bats. That's a 156 batting average. They're in tight at the corners for Darren, who takes the first pitch strike. Red Sox play 3 here over the weekend, and they conclude this 12-game road trip with 3 games in Cleveland beginning Monday. Breaking ball and a called strike 2.
Pettit against right-handers generally will start that curveball off the outside part of the plate, try to get those righties to quit on it, and also that cut fastball will run inside to right-hand hitters.
Pettit still a young man, 27 years old, native of Louisiana, 6'5", 225 pounds, married with 2 children, now makes his home in Deer Park, Texas. Strike 3. Jim Reynolds hesitated for a moment before ringing up Darren Lewis, so Darren's gone on 3 pitches. And Pettit has his first strikeout of the night.
That's what we're talking about. After the breaking ball away, inside with the cut fastball, and it took a long time for Jim Reynolds to make that call, but it looks like he made the right call. Looks like it had plenty of that inside corner.
Well, let's hope he's not one of these Joe Brinkman, Tim McClellan disciples who takes a month, has a sandwich and a cup of coffee, and then makes the strike calls. Looked like he got it right. That's why I said because I thought he was going to call it a ball. Now here's Nomar, who sat out Wednesday's game after fouling a ball off his foot Tuesday night that forced him to leave that game in the late innings. 353, now tied with Derek Jeter for the league lead in hitting. 21 homers, 87 runs batted in. They got back on the track in terms of home runs in that series in Seattle. Shoots that one foul off to the right.
I had a chance to speak with him prior to the ball game, and you can notice that he's wearing that protective shield on the ankle, and said it's pretty swollen still and pretty black and blue, but he's going to give it a shot tonight.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases empty, no score, just underway in the top of the first. Girardi sets up inside, and Pettit missed up and in. A 10-game hitting streak for Nomar, with 14 hits in those 10 games. Back to the screen, evening the count at 2-2. Mentioned Pettit's win totals in the last 3 years that added up to 55 victories in the 96, 7, and 8 seasons combined. Only John Smoltz has won more games among all Major League pitchers during that time frame than Andy Pettitte, who's trying to have a 1-2-3 first. A bullet down to third, stabbed on a hop by Brocious. A nice play to end the inning. And the crowd is into it early here at the stadium after a half inning, no score in New York.
We've told you Chevrolet cars are trusted by more Americans than any other. And you know Chevy trucks are the most dependable, longest lasting on the road. There's just one more thing to remember. It's the clearance days of the Great Summer Drive-In, where you'll find a great smart lease, big cash back, or 0% APR financing on select 1999 Chevrolet cars and trucks, including Blazer and S10, Malibu, and Cavalier. It's the clearance days of the Great Summer Drive-In. See your local Chevrolet dealer today.
Premium cut lumber. Quality wood products with fewer gouges and knots, less bark, warping, and twisting. Other lumber doesn't stack up. Premium cut. Quality wood products. Only at the Home Depot.
Now at Pep Boys, get a great deal on Valvoline. Only 99 cents a quart. Save on Valvoline just 99 cents. And don't miss our 2 for $3 offer on any Purolator oil and air filter. Only at Pep Boys.
Cars like us. People love us.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Powerful protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear. Right Guard. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Andy Pettitte pitched a 1-2-3 top of the first. The Yankees getting ready to come to bat for the first time. The Yankee lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. New York is 85-54 for the season. They have Chuck Knobloch, the second baseman, leading off. Derek Jeter riding a 13-game hitting streak to move into that tie with Nomar for the league lead in hitting. Paul O'Neill, the right fielder, will hit third. Bernie Williams is the cleanup hitter and center fielder. Tino Martinez plays first base. The DH, Chili Davis, bats sixth. Ricky Leday is the left fielder. Scott Brocious, the third baseman, batting eighth, and hitting ninth, the catcher, Joe Girardi.
Red Sox 12th in the league defensively. They made 106 errors on the season. O'Leary, Buford, and Lewis in the outfield. Veras, Garciaparra, Offerman, and Stanley in the infield. Veritek doing the catching, and on the mound, Pedro Martinez. Martinez 20-4 on the season, a 2.26 ERA. Leads the American League in that category. Also in strikeouts, he leads at 257. Next closest to him is Aaron Seeley now. And Pedro also the toughest to hit, a 214 team batting average against Martinez. That also leads the American League.
Brilliant performance last time out in the win in Seattle. The Red Sox first win on the road trip. And a stabilizer after the controversial loss to start the trip on Friday night. Here's Chuck Knobloch, 0 for his last 10 to drop his average to 288. 16 homers and 62 runs batted in. Veras in tight as Pedro throws strike one. Pedro has a lot of fans here tonight. Bigly out in the right center field bleachers, a lot of Dominican flags being waved and signs made showing their affection for Martinez. He got a piece of Knobloch. Just did brush Knobloch with that one, and that's nothing new. Knobloch annually among the league leaders in being hit by a pitch, and that's the 21st time he's been hit this year.
And that's the most in the American League. Just getting a piece of Knobloch. You see how those elbows are hands right over home plate, and that's the reason that he does get hit quite often. 21 times, I mentioned, leads the American League. Second is Brady Anderson with 19.
See the black armband around the left sleeve. That's in memory of Catfish Hunter. They've been wearing the number 5 all season in memory of Joe DiMaggio. They added the black armbands tonight for Catfish Hunter. Derek Jeter, chance to take the league lead in hitting. Riding a 13-game hitting streak. 22 homers, 92 runs batted in for Jeter, along with a .353 average. He's 9 for his last 19. This is his 6th hitting streak of 10 games or more this year. Knobloch running the throw. Got him. Terrific job by Offerman on a one-hop throw to field Varitek's throw and get the tag on Knobloch for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Knobloch did not get a very good jump over at first base either, and that's going to hurt him. You see the throw here by Varitek, one hop, a nice play by Offerman to make the catch on the hop and then apply the tag. That's an in-between hop. That's a tough play for the second baseman. But Knobloch did not have a good jump at first base. Almost the type of jump where you put the brakes on and you decide to go back to first.
John Hirschbeck waiting to make sure Offerman held onto the ball. Blistering fastball by Martinez. 93 miles per hour. We'd like to show you the reading of the radar gun on the screen, but our radar gun operator was asked to be removed from the stands down there. The security took him out. Welcome to New York. All the guy was doing was his job down there, but asked to leave. As Jerry will be humming I Love New York throughout the evening. But we are stealing the information from other sources. And occasionally we can, we'll verbally pass along the radar gun reading.
That last pitch at 189 miles an hour.
Blistering. Greatest pitch of all time. Full count on Jeter with one out. Another foul ball straight back. That was 95 miles per hour. And it looks like Pedro has fully recovered from the shoulder injury that put him on the disabled list for the first time in his career. Won his last 3 starts and he blows away Jeter. That was 97 miles per hour for the first strikeout of the night for Martinez.
Well, the last time Pedro faced the Yankees, that was back in May. He had 11 strikeouts in that ball game. He'll just go number 1 right past Derek Jeter on the outside part of the plate. The Yankees are a tough lineup to pitch to. They take an awful lot of pitches. They try to get themselves in hitters' counts. They're very, very patient. So normally when guys work against this Yankee ball club, they have to throw a lot of pitches in a game.
Paul O'Neill, the hitter. 2 outs and the bases are empty. No score in the first. Check swing, no swing, said Durwood Merrill. O'Neill at 289, 14 homers and 81 runs batted in. On the ground, down to Stanley at first. He waves away Martinez and beats his former teammate O'Neill to the bag to end the inning. After 1 in New York, no score.
Want to get away? Southwest has your ticket to freedom with Southwest Airlines fun fares that begin at $39.
You are now free to move about the country.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received a 5-star frontal crash rating from the federal government. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Experience the joy of driving for only $269 a month. See your Chevy dealer for a great lease on the all-new Impala. Call for lease details.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Back at Yankee Stadium, no score. Red Sox and Yankees after one. Well, the Toronto Blue Jays coming to town September 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Still a very important series for the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Tickets are still available and can be purchased at the Red Sox ticket office by calling 617-482-4SOX for 24-hour touch-tone ticketing at 617-482-4SOX.
The Blue Jays are 5.5 behind the Red Sox in the wild card race. They're in Detroit tonight trying to end a 3-game losing streak. Toronto leads that game 1-0 in the third inning behind Pat Penkin. Oakland's at Tampa Bay, beginning a stretch of games against some of the weaker teams in the American League are the Athletics. Mike Stanley leads off against Andy Pettitte and slashes one foul off to the right. Stanley hitting .267 and looking for his first hit ever against Andy Pettitte. 0 for 10 lifetime against Pettitte. For the season, Stanley has 16 homers. He's driven in 55 runs. He's hit just .243 since the All-Star break. And has just 5 extra base hits in that time over the span of 111 at-bats. Pettitte pitched a 1-2-3 first with help from Brocious, who made a fine play on a smash hit down to third by Nomar Garcia-Parra. Stanley drives that down the right field line, and it's just foul. Short porch here at Yankee Stadium in right. 314 feet to the foul pole.
It's like the old days, Sean, with the Yankee-Red Sox rivalry. A full house here at the stadium, and they're expecting full house on all 3 games of this weekend series.
Now the 2-2 to Stanley. Backdoor breaking ball missed. A full count. Stanley, then Butch Husky and Troy O'Leary here in the second inning. Oakland and Tampa Bay are scoreless in the 4th inning. In St. Petersburg, Tim Hudson and Wilson Alvarez, the pitching matchup there. Payoff pitch. Stanley rips one to center, a base hit. The first hit of the night for either team. Let's pause for station identification. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England television network.
You're watching WLVI WB56, Cambridge, Boston.
Designated hitter.
Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy at Yankee Stadium for the first of 3 this weekend between these 2 longtime rivals. A very important series, particularly for the Red Sox. Butch Husky slapped one foul off to the right. He's the DH tonight, hitting .288 overall. He's hit .281 in 31 games for the Red Sox. 4 of his 19 homers for Boston and 20 of his 69 runs batted in. Strike 2, 0-2.
A moment of silence prior to the game for Jim Catfish Hunter, and not only a terrific pitcher but a terrific guy. He was pinpoint control, a real competitor. He'd give but he wouldn't break, and it was always a pleasure to play against him. You know he was coming right after. He was not going to fool around. He threw strikes, and a true competitor, and really a nice guy.
That's what everybody says. Catfish Hunter won 224 games in 15 years in the big leagues. 20 or more games he won in 5 straight seasons. He's the last man to do that. Did that in 71 through 75. Pitched down on the feet of Husky, and a good play by Girardi. Catfish Hunter pitched a perfect game against Minnesota in 1968. Won 5 World Series championships. 3 with Oakland, 2 with the Yankees. Won the Cy Young Award in 1974. Was an All-Star 8 times. Elected to the Hall of Fame in 1987 in his 3rd year of eligibility. Husky fouled one off his foot, and seeing what he went through is a reminder of just how gruesome ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, is. Here's a man who made his living with his arm, and at the end of his life couldn't use his hands or arms.
53 years old.
Another 2-2. What made him so effective as a pitcher?
Well, he was not overpowering. He had good control of every one of his pitches. His fastball, he had a nasty slider to get right-handers out. He also had a very good changeup, but he would never give in to you. I mean, he would never give in to you. And sometimes he'd rather give up a home run than give up a walk. If it was the time of the ball game where he had a lead, he'd get a pitch right down the middle. He wouldn't walk you.
Husky hits it in the air in left center. Didn't get all of it, and Bernie Williams is there for the first out of the inning. Stanley back to first with 1 out of the 2nd. A scoreless game.
Saw a funny interview with him. They were replaying today on television. He was talking about the pitches from his time and pitchers today who don't go 9 innings very often. Said, I once played for a coach that said a couple of days before you pitch, go out and drink 9 beers because you're going 9 innings. He said, well, I used to drink 10 just in case I had to go that 10th inning. And that was his mindset. They were going to go 9, and that was it. They didn't want anybody to finish it for him.
Very few finish now. O'Leary at 277. Troy has 25 homers, 90 runs batted in. He took ball 1. They're not holding Stanley on at first. Martinez playing a couple of steps behind him. Troy's actually hit better against lefties this year for batting average, 324, but against the lefties. But only 2 of his 25 homers have come against southpaws. He hits it between Martinez and Knobloch into right. Stanley, who doesn't run well, holds at second. The Red Sox have 2 singles off Pettit here in the 2nd, 1st and 2nd, and 1 out.
And O'Leary continues to hit left-handed pitching. 324 against lefties coming into the ball game today. And at times in his career, Pettit has had trouble with left-handed hitters. There's that breaking ball that stays out over the plate, and O'Leary will find that hole between 1st and 2nd for the base hit.
It's amazing the Red Sox have done as well as they've done on this trip, given the numbers that some of their individual hitters have. O'Leary was 3 for 19 on the trip before that hit. We mentioned the struggles of Offerman and Lewis on the road trip. Husky has had a very difficult time of it. He's now 1 for 16.
Well, they've got great pitching, and they've got great pitching, especially out of their bullpen on this trip.
Some clutch hitting, some clutch home runs in the series. Garcia, Parra, and Veritek in the series in Seattle. Damon Buford looked at a strike. Damon hitting 243, 5 homers, 31 runs batted in. A little bit high. Did you happen to see the piece on television when Catfish Hunter told the story at his Hall of Fame induction about how he got the nickname Catfish Hunter?
It was Charlie Finley, wasn't it?
Yeah, Charlie Finley, when he signed him, asked him if he had a nickname Catfish Hunter. Said, no, I don't. I'm Jim Hunter. And Charlie said, well, to be a big league ball player, you have to have a nickname. Just a little bit outside, 2-1. So Charlie Finley said, when you were 6 years old, you wandered away from home, went fishing. Your parents went to look for you. Late in the afternoon, they found you. You had caught 2 catfish, and you were about to catch the 3rd. Now that's the story, and repeat it back to me. That's how he became Catfish Hunter, starting in the profession of baseball.
He was one of the first high-priced free agents, and I think his total contract was a little over $3 million.
Yes.
For the whole contract.
Yeah, he signed, I believe, for 5 years with the Yankees for $3-point-something million, and that was the big money at the time. He said Cleveland offered $1 million in a contract. They told his wife they were crazy. They got a lot crazier than that. Full count now as Buford takes one down and in.
And with deferred payments on that $3 million contract, he was still getting paid till the time he passed away. $3 million now gets you about, what, 40 at-bats a year?
You're a 240 hitter. That's above your salary in this day and age. Runners not going on a 3-2 pitch. Check swing. They're not going to appeal because the home plate umpire, Jim Reynolds, Decided to ring up Buford by himself. Jimmy started out of the dugout, but you can't argue balls and strikes.
I think he's going to go out there anyway just to try to protect Buford from getting thrown out of the ball game. But
well, this is the second time there's been a very late third strike call by Reynolds. And I'm not sure that was a swing either, looking at it on the replay.
Tough to tell by that angle, but I mean, just Haas, the first base umpire anyway. That's why he's there.
Now that's not close to a swing.
That's not a swing. Buford looking down toward first, waiting for Rocky Rowe to make the call, and it was the home plate umpire that made it by himself.
Well, he took forever to ring up Darren Lewis last inning, and you saw how far Buford was down the line before he realized he was out. That's how long it took Reynolds to give the sign there. Jason Varitek looked at ball one. Well, that's a big call. They would have had the bases loaded and one out. Now it's first and second and 2 outs. Varitek hitting .265 overall, .284 right-handed. He hits a chopper to short. Jeter flips to Knobloch for the out that ends the inning. The Red Sox strand 2. No score after an inning and a half. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
If you want to find a really great deal, you gotta know where to look. And look no further than McDonald's. We're introducing Mickey D's Dollar Deals. Great dollar specials every time you come in. Somebody say more. Now get a tasty Egg McMuffin or a juicy quarter pounder with cheese for just $1 each. Mickey D's Dollar Deals. Hey, what more could you ask for?
Still haven't earned enough miles for a free vacation? With the Delta United Frequent Flyer Partnership, you can apply miles flown on either airline to either account. Since together, Delta and United serve more U.S. destinations than any other partnership, you'll be earning trips faster. Delta Airlines, helping you earn trips faster.
Shannon Sharp, please, has always talking trash.
You're paying, baby!
He's always trying to get inside your head.
Seahorn, you don't know your elbows from your...
And sometimes, he can get downright nasty.
I bet you pay transaction fees on your mutual funds. Your mama pays full commission. You know how to calculate a P/E ratio?
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm,
How diversified is your portfolio?
we created a smarter kind of investor.
You can't even spell Dow Jones. Woo! Okay, guys, let's get this right. To calculate a P/E ratio, you divide the stock price.
Your little men are going to get scored on more times than your sister.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Which sister?
Next Friends, tonight at 11 on Boston's WB56.
No score after an inning and a half here at Yankee Stadium. Let's give you an update on the games involving the other leading contenders for the wild card right now. Oakland leads Tampa Bay 1-0. They're in the bottom of the fourth. Jason Giambi has hit a home run for the Athletics. Support Tim Hudson. And Toronto and Detroit are now tied at 1. Solo homers for each team from Darren Fletcher and Davy Cruz. They're in the top of the fourth at Tiger Stadium. Pedro Martinez throwing in the high 90s in the first at a 3-batter inning. He hit the leadoff man Knobloch. He was wiped out trying to steal. And his fans are out in force tonight. Bernie Williams, bothered lately by tendonitis in his left shoulder. They're hanging in there in the race for the batting title, which he won last year. 344 for Bernie. Good for third. 9 points behind the co-leaders, Jeter and Garcia Parra, starting the ninth. High heat, and Williams couldn't get it. Bernie's hit 22 homers and has driven in 100 runs. He had an MRI on his left shoulder for the second time this year. On Wednesday here in New York, he returned from their road trip to Kansas City early. He wanted to go that MRI. He has inflammation and tendonitis. And they're going to be very careful with him down the stretch here with an eye toward the postseason.
Notice the first 2 pitches by Pedro, too, up in that zone. If you've got a bad shoulder, awful difficult to get on top of that fastball. Even healthy, it's tough to get on top. So if he's going to chase that high pitch, keep throwing it.
Pedro drops in the breaking ball for strike 2. Williams trying to become the first Yankee to win consecutive batting titles since Joe DiMaggio did it in 1939 and 1940. Martinez struck out one in the first. He got Jeter. Now he'll try to get Williams. And he buzzes him up and in. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, strike three. And now it's Williams' turn to beat, but that looked like a good one. And it also reinforces, Jerry, that Jim Reynolds' style is not to wait 5 seconds and punch somebody out in a called third strike, because he didn't hesitate on this one for very long. Of course, in slow motion, it looks like he did.
Well, Bernie didn't have a beef here. This is a good pitch by Pedro. It's clearly is above the knees as it went by him and had plenty of the plate. Look how close on top of that plate Bernie Williams as he goes to his stride. A lot of these Yankee hitters right on top of the plate, and you're going to see Pedro consistently moving him off the plate with the fastball.
Jim Reynolds looking toward that Yankee dugout now. And he's looking in there again after calling strike one on Tino Martinez. He's telling Joe Torre, don't tell me where to look. You could hear him say that. Joe Torre's telling him to relax. Well, it hasn't taken Jim Reynolds, one of the new umpires, long to cop an attitude like most of his colleagues.
They call that rabbit ears. You know, when you get back in that dugout and you start chirping at the umpire, well, those guys that continue to look in there, they, yell out, oh, come on, rabbit ears, let's go.
The Yankees have no beat. They got a huge break on the top of this inning. The strikeout of Buford on a bad call changed the whole complexion of that inning. Martinez takes one inside. Pino's hitting .264, 23 homers, 89 runs batted in. You see the highlights of the Montreal-San Diego game yesterday when the umpires lost track of how many outs there were?
I did see that, yeah.
There were 3 outs, and the amazing thing is no one in the field knew that there were 3 outs. The entire team stayed in the field, and the umpire said afterwards, Jerry Lane of the National League, I thought there were 3 outs, but usually when no one runs off the field, I thought, well, I must be wrong. They threw 3 pitches
Phil Nevin,
to the 4th batter, to Phil Nevin, I believe, of San Diego, before the Expos got the attention of the umpires and said, hey, there's already 3 outs in this inning. Martinez fouled one off his body. 2-2 on Tino with Chili Davis on deck.
Well, that shows how that season's going for both of those ball clubs, because when you get 9 players in the field that don't know there are 3 outs,
no,
you're having a bad year.
Their heads are not really in the game. Jerry Lane's one of the veteran National Leaguers. He's not a new umpire who was working the plate in that game yesterday. Martinez has fanned 2 of the first 4 hitters. Oh, that one's lifted to right center. Plenty of room for Buford, who waved away Lewis for the second out of the second inning in this scoreless game.
Field looks to be in remarkable good shape. They had a lot of rain here both last night and this morning, up and through until actually about maybe 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. But the field looks like it's taking the water very well.
Little muddy on the track. And you don't see any indication of water splashing up as the outfielders run through the grass. Here's the veteran DH, Chili Davis, hitting .271. The switch hitter is 17 homers, 68 runs batted in 127 games. Hitting .267 left-handed. 12 of his 17 homers have come from the left. Fastball a little bit up. That was 95 miles per hour from Pedro. In 8 games against the Red Sox, a .323 average for Davis this year without a homer. And right on cue, he drills one to deep right. Home run, way back into the bleachers.
time sitting right on that fastball from Pedro Martinez. This one was clocked only at about 90 miles an hour. And it was out over the heart of the plate, and Chili Davis all over it.
That was crushed. It was 18th of the year, just the 9th homer Pedro's given up this season in 181 innings. He doesn't yield many. Ricky Leday up there with 1 strike. 288 for Leday, who's seen the bulk of the action lately in left field, and looking for the right man just about all season long to man that position. 7 homers, 32 runs batted in. Pedro had not given up a homer in any of his previous 3 starts while winning all 3. The last homer he gave up was August 19th against Oakland. The start he lost. Red Sox lost that game 6-2. Good news for Red Sox fans, he hasn't given up more than 1 homer in a start all year. Thorne holds, that'll be it, and turns the long balls to the Yankees tonight. The 2-1 to Leday is up and in.
Now, Pedro's got to get that pitch. I mean, those are pretty good pitches on the inside corner, and he has not gotten any of those yet.
Leday's scuffling. 2 for his last 19, 3 for his last 28. 1 for 14 on their just completed 3-3 road trip. He hacks away at the 3-1 and fouls it right back. He spent about a month and a half down in Columbus with their AAA team, the Clippers, before coming back up to the Yankees in late June. Breaking ball, strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but the Yankees take the lead on the Chili Davis homer after 2, 1-0 New York.
We've told you Chevrolet cars are trusted by more Americans than any other. And you know Chevy trucks are the most dependable, longest lasting on the road. There's just one more thing to remember. It's the clearance days of the Great Summer Drive-In, where you'll find a great smart lease, big cash back, or 0% APR financing on select 1999 Chevrolet cars and trucks, including Blazer and S10, Malibu and Cavalier. It's the clearance days of the Great Summer Drive-In. See your local Chevrolet dealer today.
To be the best takes strength, speed, endurance. Now the best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. New Lamisil AT. Strength. Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed. These take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance. A study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in new Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
Napa application engineered brakes can stop you 20 feet shorter than ordinary brakes. That's important. Because you can't always count on there being 20 extra feet of road when you need it. Napa, over 200,000 parts, and every one's important.
Back at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees with the 1-0 lead on the Chili Davis home run. Well, baseball fans, don't miss your chance to visit the traveling Babe Ruth Museum when it comes to Fenway Park on September 21st and 22nd, when the Red Sox play host to the Blue Jays in a 3-game series. The tickets call 617-482-4SOX.
Andy Pettit pitching with the lead. He got out of a jam last inning with some help from the home plate umpire Jim Reynolds. The Red Sox left 2 men on. The number 9 hitter, Wilton Veras, leads off. Wilton's hitting .308, 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. Veras, Offerman, and Lewis coming up. Good breaking ball for strike 1. John Valentin is here. He was working out with the Red Sox before the game. And on the disabled list with patella tendonitis. Left knee. Comebacker handled by Pettit on to Martinez for the first out of the inning.
Only Valentin due to come off the disabled list, I think, for the middle of next week.
Yes.
Sometime, and we'll have to see how that knee responds once he starts to get a chance to take some ground balls, take batting practice with the club.
Here's John.
Had a cortisone shot a couple of days ago to try to help that inflammation. And that should help quite a bit. Usually pretty effective against that type of an injury.
Well, the good news is Varys has been excellent. Offerman takes the ball just outside. Jose hit a little dribbler down the third baseline, and Pettit threw him out to start the ball game. 1-0 New York. 1 run on 1 hit for the Yankees. A Chili Davis home run, a long shot into the bleachers and right. 2-0 now on Offerman. He drives one to right. But O'Neill has room just shy of the track. 2 outs. Jerry, you were talking about the inconsistency of the Yankee team this year. Of course, it's nice when you can be inconsistent and be 85 and 54 and leading your division by 6.5. But it really seems to be largely a product of up and down starting pitching. Pettit, as we mentioned, has had a roller coaster ride of a year. The same can be said for Roger Clemens and David Cone. They just haven't been consistently effective as individuals or as a starting staff. Here's Darren Lewis, who was called out on strikes in the first. He bounces that to short. Jeter to Martinez. A 1-2-3 inning for Pettit. On to the home half of the third in New York with the Yankees leading 1-0.
5 things to consider about the Chevy Impala. It's new. It starts under $20,000. It's designed, engineered, and built to be carefree. It's at your Chevy dealer now. It's received a 5-star frontal crash rating from the federal government. As USA Today put it, it's a lot more car than you imagine, at a lower price than you expect. The new Chevy Impala.
Experience the joy of driving for only $269 a month. See your Chevy dealer for a great lease on the all-new Impala. Call for lease details.
It's important to clean your wound because a week later, it'll probably be piled up to like here. And you'll have to spend like almost your whole day picking it up. So it's good to clean your room, pick up your toys, vacuum, make up your bed, about once a day. And it's good to have a clean room.
We learned our philosophy in preschool, not business school. Hampton Inn.
Clean room, clean life. That's what I think.
Hello, Ms. Gruber. Can I interest you in some wonderful opportunities in the stock? Ms. Gruber?
It's time for E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online.
Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust, and by E-Trade. It's time for E-Trade. Scott Brocious leads off against Pedro Martinez and takes a fastball for a strike. Brocious hitting .251 with 14 homers and 65 runs batted in. He'll be followed at the plate by Joe Girardi and Chuck Knobloch. Strike. Breaking ball that had Brocious bailing out, but it had plenty of the plate. Brocious and other Yankees had a tough go of it offensively recently, 2 for his last 19. Little chin music.
Talked last inning, Sean, about some of the inconsistency in the Yankees, and you're right, the pitching staff at times, the starters have been a problem. Guys like Brocious haven't had the same type of year, Paul O'Neill, as they did a year ago. But as Don Zimmer said, they're not probably going to be another team to have that kind of year, maybe for another 100 years. He says, I think sometimes we get a little spoiled by what we had a chance to watch last year. High fastball, about 93 miles an hour here by Pedro, going up the ladder on Brocious. Brocious had a tough go. His dad has been very ill, and he's been back and forth to see him a number of occasions, and it certainly had an effect when he comes to the ballpark.
He missed 5 games in the last couple of weeks to be with his ailing dad in Oregon. 4 strikeouts for Pedro, and he throws strike 1 to Joe Girardi. Girardi hitting .234 in 54 games as the backup to Jorge Posada. Homer and 20 runs batted in. Posada had a tough time defensively. Many of the Yankee pitchers, it seems, prefer to pitch to Girardi.
Here's the scary part about the pitching. Even though they have been inconsistent, they still lead the league in just about every category.
Yes.
First in ERA, fewest runs, fewest home runs.
Strike 3. No contest there. Beautiful breaking ball from Pedro to get Girardi. He's fanned the last 3 batters and has 5 Ks after 1 trip through the Yankee batting order.
Nothing but strikes this inning from Martinez. It's the curveball that put away Joe Girardi. And Pedro now with the 5 strikeouts on the night. Little buckle in that front leg for Girardi on that curveball. Usually when that buckles, you have no chance.
So Pedro in that squat a couple of times. It's like the Yankees just trying to keep Pedro out of a rhythm, taking their time when they arrive at the batter's box. Chuck Knobloch grazed by a pitch his first time up, took that one up and in. Knobloch was hit, but then was thrown out trying to steal second.
Knobloch had a big series against the Red Sox the last time the Yankees were at Fenway.
You mentioned the pitching staff numbers, and this is a matchup of the 2 top pitching staffs in the American League in terms of ERA. The Yankees #1 at 4.12. The Red Sox 4.17. Wilton Veras has the pop-up, and Pedro has a dominating 1-2-3 third inning. After 3, the Yankees won and the Red Sox nothing.
Now at Pep Boys, get a great deal on Valvoline. Only 99 cents a quart. Save on Valvoline just 99 cents. And don't miss our 2 for $3 offer on any Purolator oil and air filter. Only at Pep Boys.
Cars like us. People love us.
Are you ready to hit the road?
Can a wider track broaden your horizon?
Do you wish life would throw a few more curves your way?
Is the right offer the cure for hesitation?
Are you ready for something you've always wanted?
Then get to the Pontiac Hit the Road Summer Sell Down for 0% APR financing or $1,000 cash back on any 99 wide track Grand Prix.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement.
See your dealer today.
What are you waiting for?
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
Took the family to see the 4 for $99 tire deal at Pep Boys.
Lucky you.
Found these 4 for $169.
Wow.
And these babies 4 for $199.
Now that's a vacation.
Pep Boys.
Cars like us. People love us.
First game of a 3-game series this weekend between the Red Sox and the Yankees. And New York leads 1-0. Chili Davis in the second inning with 2 outs and the bases empty. Drilled one well back into those bleachers and right. That's the only hit the Yankees have. That's the only run of the ball game. Otherwise, Pedro has had his way with the Yankee hitters. He has fanned 5 of the 10 men who have come to the plate. The Red Sox had a threat in the second. 2 men on and 1 out, but could not score. And Andy Pettit's now retired 5 in a row. Here is Nomar, who hit a sharp ball down to third, and Brocious made a nice play to snare it and throw him out in the first. Garcia, Pyra, Stanley, and Husky coming up. Right back to Pettit. 1 out.
One nice big high bounce for Andy Pettit, the kind that the pitchers like. You see that dirt kick up in home plate. They have it very soft here at Yankee Stadium around home plate to try to help those infielders, help increase their range. Some of those hardest surfaces, that ball would have bounced up over the head of Pettit and maybe into center field.
Mike Stanley single to center. He is one of the 2 Red Sox hits. The single leading off the second was stranded at second. Fouls that one out, it played to right.
Red Sox have gotten to a point this season. They are 15-15 against left-handed starters. Not as good as a year ago, but certainly better than the beginning of the season. They were having a very tough time early in the year.
Low. There's Stanley. He's had a couple of stints with the Yankees. He has played many games here as a visitor as well. Outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Stanley was with the Yankees in 1992 through 95. Signed with the Red Sox as a free agent after the 95 season. Was with them for 96 and part of 97 when he was traded back to New York. And he drives that one to deep center. Williams on the run. That ball is off the wall. Stanley on his way into second, and he's there with a double. He just missed a game-tying home run. Stanley 2 for 2 tonight and in scoring position with 1 out.
Coming into this game tonight, Stanley was 0 for 10 in his career against Andy Pettit. 2 for 2 tonight. Of course, a long way to center field here at Yankee Stadium. Not quite like Detroit, but 408 to straightaway center, right at the base of the wall. And Stanley will have the stand-up double.
His 21st 2-base hit of the year. As we mentioned his first time up, a rare extra base hit for Mike. Just his 6th since the All-Star break. Here's Butch Husky. 0 for 1 tonight with a fly ball to center. 1 for 16 on the road trip. Ball 1 high to Husky. 1 run, 1 hit for New York. No runs, 3 hits now for the Red Sox. Husky and then Troy O'Leary. Bounced foul behind the third base coach Wendell Kim. Oakland's lead over Tampa Bay has grown to 3-0 in the 5th inning. And Toronto leads Detroit 2-1 now in the 4th in Detroit. The Red Sox 2 nearest rivals in the wild card race are leading. Husky way out in front of that. And up into the upper. Very difficult for a right-handed hitter to foul ball off at that angle.
Well, the curveball kept burying inside on Husky and was almost a one-handed swing. I think if he didn't hit that, it might have hit him.
That almost straight sideways as you see from that shot. Back over his head. He's in the hole, 1-2. The pitch from Pettit. Line to right, but it stays in the air for O'Neill. 2 outs.
Well, Husky's numbers on this road trip aren't quite up to par, but yet he has not had very much luck either. He's hit a number of line drives right at people. Number 1 in the Oakland series with the bases loaded right to third base, and here's another line drive, but right at Paul O'Neill in right field. Even when he has a good at bat, still not having much luck when he makes contact.
Now Troy O'Leary, who grounded a single into right field in the 2nd. Red Sox would love another of those. Of course, it'd take a well-placed hit to get Stanley in from second. He's a very slow runner. Ball in the dirt, blocked by Girardi. Andy Pettit lost his last start at Anaheim. He had won 5 of his previous 6 starts before that loss. Won 7 of his last 10 decisions. He's thrown a lot of pitches lately. He's thrown at least 114 pitches in each of his last 6 starts. The 2-0 flutter ball missed. That's his 56th pitch tonight.
I think that's one of the reasons throughout his career he's had some problems against lefties. He really doesn't have that nasty breaking ball to throw to left-handers. They see it pretty well. It's pretty much over the top.
The 3-0 to Troy O'Leary is low and away, ball 4. And the Red Sox again have 2 men on with 2 outs. Damon Buford will be the batter. He came up with Stanley at second, O'Leary at first, and 1 out in the second was called out on a check swing on a 3-2 pitch, which was clearly not a swing, but the home plate umpire Jim Reynolds, after a lengthy thought process, punched out Damon. That was a very big call. Pettit has struck out 2. The walk to O'Leary, the first he has given up tonight. He throws strike 1 to Buford. Grounded up the middle. Jeter to Knobloch. The Red Sox swing 2 more. They've left 4. We head to the bottom of the 4th. New York leading 1-0. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England television network.
If a car has its own personality, you'd want it to be soft, but strong, frugal and worthy of your respect. It should remember the little things that are important to you and be reasonable, always. Like a best friend, it should be there for you every day. Toyota Corolla.
No. What's the difference between a discount airline and the airline of the year? The one with 70 years of service? Hint, it's not price. It's convenient scheduling. It's reserved seating. It's Sky Miles. And of course, low fares. No. The difference is Delta Airlines. Low fares and great service.
Can I have one of your new muffins, please?
Introducing Dunkin' Donuts all-new freshly baked muffins. They're incredibly delicious and bigger than ever before. So you'll love them for a long, long time. Of course, nothing lasts forever.
Bigger muffins, bigger taste. New from Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts introduces our brand new Bigger Muffin, now just 99 cents.
Brand's singles party is raided.
And you're under arrest.
That was a pistol?
Tonight at 11:30 on WB56.
The Yankees have just 1 hit against Pedro Martinez, but it was a home run by Chili Davis, and they lead 1-0 as they get ready to come up in the 4th. On the American League scoreboard, Baltimore leads Seattle 3-1. They're now in the 6th inning. Albert Bell has a 2-run double in that game. Detroit has tied up Toronto. They're at 2-2 in the 5th. Oakland leads Tampa Bay 3-0. Ryan Christensen a 2-run single. It's Cleveland 1 and Chicago 0 in the bottom of the 2nd. The run on a David Justice sacrifice fly. Joe Randa has an RBI single for Kansas City. And the Royals lead Texas 3-0. And Anaheim on a Mo Vaughn RBI single leads Minnesota 1-0 in the 3rd in Minneapolis. Pedro Martinez pitched a 1-2-3 third. He was struck out 5 Yankee hitters. Has not allowed a walk. New York's had just 2 base runners. Pedro's faced 1 over the minimum. But right now the Sox are down by a run. Derek Jeter looked at ball 1. He struck out swinging in the 1st. Jeter, O'Neill, and Williams, the meat of the order coming up. ball to right. Lewis with room. One out. Now, I'm told there was a Wally sighting at the David Letterman show last night, and that actually he was asked to be a guest, but he's so tired of all the media attention now that he turned down the opportunity to be on with Dave. Is that true?
That's very true. He had a backstage pass, and he watched the show from the green room. Actually, Wally Green himself. And
with you, he invited Wally. Was nice enough to invite you to go along.
Right. It was a good time by Wally. Very impressed with David because he's the only guy that got to meet him. It's been a bizarre couple of days for Wally here in New York, and I was a little bit concerned about it. When we landed here, you know, we had a great flight out here, Sean. He watched the Muppet movie coming across country and was very happy.
Paul O'Neill grounds it to first, and Mike Stanley plays it unassisted for the out.
As soon as we hit Manhattan, all we could hear was Bino, Bino, and it's all he's been talking for 2 days. And of course, I haven't known him that long. This is what he meant. He wanted to stare down the Bambino. And there's Wally right there, face to face with George Herman Babe Ruth, and he wants to end the curse of the Bambino. So he's out there staring him down.
Of course, Wally was still a part of the Green Wall. He was Wally the Green Monster back when Babe Ruth played for the Red Sox.
Right.
They have a long history. And we always heard stories they never liked each other. There's Wally trying to stare down the Bambino, get rid of the curse of the Bambino.
Wally didn't blink. He was out there for about 3 hours this afternoon and did not blink one time. But I haven't had time understanding him. He's Bino, Bino, Bino all day yesterday. And who do I call? Who do I talk to? I don't know.
Maybe he thought he wanted to talk to Bino Cook.
Yeah, I had no idea.
College football analyst. Bernie Williams, the batter, 1 strike count after the foul ball off to the left. He was called out on strikes in the second. Fastball up and in. 1-1. 2 outs, bases empty. 4th inning. 1-0 New York. Another fastball, a little bit tighter. There's Wally back on his familiar perch.
It's been quite a trip for him. Quite a trip.
It has been. Wally has that same look on his face all the time. You ever notice? Doesn't change that happy, smiling, except when he was staring at Babe Ruth. 2-2 now.
Yeah, he made us shoot him from the back when he was staring at Babe Ruth. He didn't want to see the faces we were making at him, so that's why we had to get that shot from the back. But it was quite a staring contest, and he's trying to end the curse.
The 2-2 pitch. Up and away. Pedro's had at least 1 strikeout in every inning. He hasn't had one here in the 4th while retiring the first 2 batters. Now the payoff pitch. Weak roller could be a problem. Veras has to throw it in a hurry, and he did. Nice play by Veras, using his strong arm to get Williams denied in his bid for an infield hit. Pedro dominant again tonight, but the Red Sox are down by 1 after 4 at the stadium.
Here's to you, and here's to me. The best of friends will always be. But should we ever disagree? To hell with you, and here's to me.
Brewing with imported hops and caramel malts makes O'Doul's Amber a taste worth toasting. O'Doul's Amber non-alcohol brew. And now original O'Doul's has a new recipe, brewed richer, smoother than ever before. Cheers.
Are you ready to hit the road?
Can a wider track broaden your horizons?
Do you wish life would throw a few more curves your way?
Is the right offer the cure for hesitation?
Are you ready for something you've always wanted? Then get to the Pontiac Hit the Road Summer Sell Down for 0% APR financing or $1,000 cash back on any 99 wide track Grand Prix.
Hit the road for Pontiac driving excitement.
See your dealer today.
What are you waiting for?
Do you want to know the best fall foliage spots? Then turn to the September issue of Yankee Magazine, where you can find out the favorite places to view foliage in New England. Every month, Yankee Magazine offers informative and lively features on New England travel, history, cooking, gardening, antiques, culture, and more. As a bonus, newsstand buyers get a free cookbook titled Yankee Magazine's Breakfast and Brunch Recipes. Check out Yankee Magazine's website, www.newengland.com, and learn how you can win a free weekend at the Sabasco Harbor, Maine resort. Get the September issue of Yankee Magazine now. Jerry, we should point out Yankee Magazine has nothing to do with the New York Yankees, of course.
You would not be promoting that.
No. Fifth inning. Andy Pettitte working on a 3-hit shutout. Red Sox have had a couple of good chances to score, but haven't been able to push the tying run across. Jason Varitek grounded out to strand 2 men, and in the second inning, he leads off the 5th with a bounding ball and a hole and a base hit. Out of the reach of Tino Martinez as he ranged to his right. Well, Varitek has the Red Sox 4th hit, and they have the lead man on for the second time.
How about that play by Veras to end last inning? Threw a seed to first base to get that final out. He makes up an awful lot with that throwing arm.
In all candor, that's a play John Valentin probably would not have made with his reduced mobility this season, and given that he's not blessed with the same strong throwing arm as Veras. Veras had to come back to the mound, and Pettitte threw him out. Pettitte is a very good pickoff move, one of the best in baseball. And Varitek and the Red Sox are well aware of that. Brocious on the edge of the grass at third as Martinez holds on Varitek. Veras hits a little pop-up over the Yankee dugout.
Yeah, the thing about Andy Pettitte, as far as getting your lead, you can't get a big lead because, as you mentioned, Sean, one of the best pickoff moves in the game. But if you can guess right against Pettitte, you got a pretty good chance of stealing that base because the delivery to home is fairly slow. Managers will tend to use more hit and runs as opposed to steals when Pettitte is working.
Bounding ball slowly down to third. Brocious to Knobloch on the first, a double play. Good work by Knobloch. It wasn't a very good throw by Brocious. Knobloch's had a terrible time of it this year. He's made 24 errors, most of them throwing errors. Perhaps he's better on plays like this, Jerry, when he doesn't have time to think about it.
Absolutely. When you have a problem throwing the baseball, the less time you have to think about it, the better you're going to make the throw. There is just catch, react, and throw. And seems like Knobloch has the most problems when it's a nice routine ground ball and has to think about the throw to first base. He's been terrible. 24 errors on the season. That's a ton for a second baseman.
By contrast, Jose Offerman has 11. Here is Offerman. Ball 1 the count. Jose has bounced back to the mound and flied to right. The Yankees lead 1-0. Chili Davis homered in the second inning. That's been the Yankees' only hit. Right now, it's enough to have them on top. 2-0 on Offerman. Should he reach Darren Lewis with bat next. Strike on the outside part of the plate. And a beautiful pitch by Pettitte, evening the count at 2-2. Foul back. Another 2-2 pitch. And a hard bouncer that eludes the grasp of Brocious. Took a big hop up. And that fooled Scott. As a result, they've scored that a hit. A well-hit ball by Offerman. He gets a break on the late big bounce. The Red Sox have their 5th hit.
Well, that's one play that he didn't have time to get in front of, and it's a good thing he didn't have time to get in front of it, because he probably would have taken it right off the face. Plays it off to the side and up over the top of the glove and the arm for the base hit. There's that last bad hop. Brocious been solid at third base. 11 errors on the season, which is a very good number for a third baseman this deep into the year.
Well, the Red Sox have a 2-out base runner. The tying run at first. Lewis, the go-ahead run at the plate. Barron's 0 for 2. Offerman draws a throw. Red Sox right now just have too many hitters who aren't giving them anything, including Lewis. He chops one to short. Here in Knobloch to end the inning. Heading to the bottom of the 5th in New York, 1-0 Yankees.
Got an old buddy waiting for a visit in Washington?
With everyday low fares on Southwest Airlines, flying the BWI is your best route to the capital.
You are now free to move about the country.
We brought you the most innovative minivan in history. Revolutionary cab-forward design and the first pickup with 4 doors. Now, here's what's new from the new Dodge. The Dodge Summer Clearance with generous cash allowances. Not to mention extremely low financing on select models. As low as 0.9% financing. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
To be the best takes strength, speed, endurance. Now the best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. New Lamisil AT. Strength. Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed. These take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance. A study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in new Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. Excellent pitchers duel between Pedro Martinez and Andy Pettit. Pedro's given up just 1 hit, but he's on the short end of the 1-0 score. Tino Martinez fouled one weakly off to the right. 1 strike on Tino. He flied to center in the 2nd. Martinez, Chili Davis, and Ricky Leday coming up. Pedro's retired 7 in a row since the homer by Davis in the 2nd inning. Fastball for a strike, 0-2. Swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez.
Now Pedro getting strikeouts with all of his pitches. This time the fastball away from Tino Martinez. Those Yankee hitters that are on top of the plate. Pedro's working inside. And you see Martinez a little bit more off the plate. He goes to the outside part of the plate with the fastball for the strikeout. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure I'd want to be a Pedro fan sitting out in those bleachers.
And posting K's for him.
Right.
Here's Chili Davis. Was the only Yankee hit that home run well back into those right field bleachers. Well, there's a police officer out there in the Pedro K's section. Big rip and a miss. by Davis. 1-1.
That fastball he threw Davis for the home run. He took something off it. It was about 90. It was out over the heart of the plate. That time up and in with the fastball.
At 95 miles per hour. Strike 2. The curveball. Pedro has everything working again tonight. It doesn't look like the Yankees are going to get much against him. If anything else, the question is, will the Red Sox be able to mount an attack? They want another K to post. 1-2 pitch. Davis did well to get to that high rider and foul it off into the upper deck and left. This is the first game of the series. The Yankees have lost the first game in each of their last 2 series, at Anaheim and at Kansas City. Prior to that, they had won the first game of the series in 14 straight series. That's a franchise record. 14 straight series opening victories before losing the last 2 series openers. One and 2 on Davis. Ricky Leday on deck. 1 out, bases empty, 5th inning. 1-0 New York. Another late swing and a foul off to the left. Here's Leday. The homer by Davis back in the second, just his second since August 4th. Up and in. Full foul. Still 2-2.
Well, he's trying about everything to Davis with the exception of the changeup. Fastball's inside, fastball high, the curveball. Looks like the changeup here.
And Pedro bounced it in there. A good at bat for Davis to work the count full. He fouled off some tough pitches after collecting 2 strikes. The Red Sox give Chile a lot of room in right center field. Darren Lewis, the right fielder, is playing toward the line, and Damon Buford, the center fielder, several steps toward left. He has a big gap toward that 385 sign.
Change up again.
Strike 3 on the outside corner. Back-to-back strikeouts for Pedro here in the 5th. He has fanned 7.
No, we figured sooner or later he'd feature that change up to Davis. He tried everything else. He missed on the first one, tried it again, and this time picks up the outside corner. The big strike zone shown right there by Reynolds, the home plate umpire.
That might have been just outside. He pondered that one for a while before ringing up Davis. Here's Leday. Strike 1 on the outside part of the plate. Ricky was called out on strikes in the second.
Players out in left field for him. Spencer, Leday, Chad Curtis,
Tony Tarasco, Clay Bellinger, the other left fielders. They've been looking for that man. Of course, Darryl Strawberry has recently returned to action. He's appeared in 7 games, but hasn't played left field. As Leday gets a new bat, we'll pause for station identification. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
You're watching WLVI WB56, Cambridge, Boston.
Tonight's telecast produced by Pat Cavanaugh, directed by Bob Whitelaw. Greg Petronzio is our graphics coordinator. The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. Pedro trying to strike out the side. He's done it 14 times this year. Now the 1-2. Make it 15 times this year. Martinez strikes out the side in the 5th. Another vintage performance. But right now the Red Sox are down by a run after 5 at Yankee Stadium.
We brought you Dodge Neon with fun-to-drive features so you can grin from gear to gear. Now, here's what else is new. The Dodge Summer Clearance with generous cash allowances or special 0.9% financing on Neon. And that's for a money-saving 60 months. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
Premium cut lumber. Quality wood products with fewer gouges and knots, less bark, warping, and twisting. Other lumber doesn't stack up. Premium cut. Quality wood products. Only at the Home Depot.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, I recommend Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Powerful protection from ferocious odor and wetness that glides on clear with no flaky white stuff.
How far's the female?
A good 70 yards, mate. I've made longer passes than that before. Right Guard, Clear Gel, and Clear Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Dodge. Do not follow. Do not conform. Be different. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better.
1-0. The Yankees have the lead through 5, ushering the new millennium with the Red Sox on September 18th as Fenway Park hosts Turn Ahead the Clock Day. First 15,000 fans of the park receive an exclusive futuristically designed Red Sox baseball cap. Compliments of Century 21 in Major League Baseball. 617-482-4SOX for 24-hour touchstone ticketing.
Nomar begins the 6th against Andy Pettit, who has scattered 5 hits to shut out the Red Sox through the first 5. Tried for the backdoor breaking ball, looked pretty good, but called the ball. 3, 4, and 5 hitters up against Pettit here in the 6th inning. Garcia Parra, Mike Stanley, and Butch Husky. Swing and a miss by Nomar. Grounded sharply to third in the first inning and hit a comebacker to Pettit in the 4th. Pettit turned it over and missed low and away. Way outside. Red Sox have had base runners. They've had 5 hits. Pettit's walked 1. And Boston has stranded 5 men through the first 5 and hit into a double play. Nomar with the count in his favor. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 up and away. The Red Sox have the lead man on for the 2nd straight inning and for the 3rd time overall. Well, we have a second. We want to say hello and happy anniversary to Bill and Millie Matichak. Their son Basil is working masterfully on audio on our telecast tonight. They celebrated their 53rd wedding anniversary on September 8th. They're Red Sox fans and avid viewers. We appreciate that. And we wish them many more years of happiness together. Mike Stanley has singled and doubled 2 for 2, and Pettit agitated that he didn't get that call, and the crowd starting to let Jim Reynolds know of its displeasure.
And I think he should be agitated for not getting that call. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Garcia-Parra held on by Martinez. Stands the reason he might be a little slower tonight with that sore ankle. Stanley chopped one foul at the plate.
He had a small cast on his ankle, one of those casts you can take on and put off as he flew cross country, icing the thing just about the whole way from Oakland, because he had the off day yesterday doing basically the same thing.
Very short lead, but Pettit checks in over there anyway. Nomar, an excellent success ratio stealing, 13 stolen bases, only 3 times caught. He's third on the team in steals. Lewis with 16, Offerman with 15. One pitch inside. 2-1. Hitters count. Action count. Stanley had a look at Wendell Kim. Nomar looking across as well.
Not the ideal hit and run man with Mike Stanley at the plate, but things have been quiet. You never know. Jimmy might try something.
Nomar is not running. Pettit gets the call in a close one. Well, they might be even now. One nothing Yankees. Red Sox looking for the equalizer in the 6th. Lob throw to first by Pettit. Led the American League in pickoffs in '97 with 14. Led the majors in pickoffs in '96 with 11. Led the AL in pickoffs in 1995 with 12. Inside, a full count. Now you might very well see Nomar on the move.
Decision time for the manager. Always tough when you have a hitter at the plate that does strike out quite a bit. You're not going to get a good jump at first base because of Pettit's move. But when you're in a game like this, managers don't like to sit around and wait for something to happen. It hasn't happened yet.
And the runner does not go. Stanley drives on a deep right. O'Neill at the wall. That ball is gone. What a great time for Mike Stanley to hit his first home run since August 17th. His 17th home run of the season. An opposite field homer. He's 3 for 3 tonight with a single, a double, and a home run, and the Red Sox take a 2-1 lead.
Well, that's the one advantage for right-handed hitters here at Yankee Stadium. If you get pitched away, just go with the pitch, and you got a pretty good chance of having yourself a home run. Stanley, excellent hitting there. A fastball away, opposite field. He knows how short it is out there to right field. He played here.
Now the Red Sox say, Pedro, all right, there's your lead.
Yeah, go get him.
Go get him. Butch Husky has fly to center and line to right.
Don't say we didn't do anything for you.
They can get greedy here in the 6th. Still nobody out. Leadoff walk to Garcia-Parra. And then the homer by Stanley. Didn't Mike pick a great time? And didn't Jerry Remy pick a good time to make a play on that foul ball? Just a little bit off to our right.
Well, you needed that bungee again.
That would have been a perfect bungee jump. Of course, here at Yankee Stadium, sometimes they just jump out of the upper deck. Saw that here a couple of years ago. A fella jumped out of the upper deck onto the screen, bounced around like he was on a trampoline. The 0-2. Husky got under that one and hits a very high fly to center for Bernie Williams. One out. We're talking about Stanley.
Here's a guy, Jerry, who had just 5 extra base hits in 37 games since the All-Star break. 2 of them tonight. And he does and has had throughout his career the knack for rising to the occasion at big moments.
Always has been a streaky hitter throughout his whole career, and you know, a guy that can go into terrible slumps that last a couple of weeks, but yet then he'll have a week where he can, I wouldn't say carry a team, but certainly put up some pretty good numbers, and this would not be a bad weekend for him to get hot.
O'Leary, broken bat looper that drops in front of Williams in shallow center. So Troy's on base for the 3rd time with 2 singles and a walk. 7 hits now for Boston and a 1-out base runner.
There's basically been 2 hitters in the Red Sox lineup that have really done damage to Pettit. It's been Stanley with the 3 for 3 and the home run, and O'Leary with 2 hits.
No action yet in the bullpen for Joe Torre. Here's Damon Buford. He's had a tough night so far. He came up with 2 men on and 1 out in the 2nd and struck out. And he came up with 2 men on and 2 outs in the 4th and grounded out. He's been up with 4 men on base, hasn't advanced any of them. He took strike 1 from Pettit. 2 runs, 7 hits for Boston. 1 run, 1 hit for New York. All the scoring in this game on home runs. Willie Davis, a solo shot to right in the 2nd to give the Yankees the lead. And then moments ago, Mike Stanley, an opposite field home run to right with Nomar Garcia-Parra aboard. Meanwhile, Oakland still leads Tampa Bay now 4-0 in the 7th inning in St. Pete. Boy, Tim Hudson, what a lift he has given that Oakland team since coming up from the minors. He's shutting out the Devil Dogs tonight.
You know, Hudson wasn't even one of the top pitchers in the minor league system.
No.
I mean, he came from like the 4th or 5th on the depth chart. What a season he's having.
Little pop-up. Jeter in shallow left has it for the 2nd out.
The Devil Dogs.
You're going to see a lot of the Devil Dogs here in the coming days. Oakland beginning a very easy stretch of its schedule. Here's Jason Varitek, 1 for 2 with a single to the right side last inning. Oakland plays 4 in Tampa Bay, 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore. Then they go back home for 3 against Kansas City and 3 against Minnesota. Part of that time, the Red Sox will be battling New York and Cleveland. First pitch to Varitek is high and tight.
Sometimes you play to the level of competition you're playing against. Let's hope that's the case for both the Red Sox and Oakland. They'll drop down to the level of teams that they're playing.
That's been true of the Red Sox this year.
Yep, it has.
Red Sox played very well against the stronger teams. Not as well against some of the weaklings. They've also pounded some of the lesser teams in the American League. They certainly drilled Anaheim, going 9-1 against the Angels. Red Sox were 8-2 against Kansas City, but they were also 4-9 against Tampa Bay. But the Red Sox are 5-4 this year against New York, 8-1 against Toronto, 6-3 against Cleveland, 7-3 against Seattle. They've held their own 4-5 against Texas, despite being swept last time they were in Arlington. 1-2 now on Varitek. Well, Art Howe, the Oakland manager, says one thing about playing those teams, they're out at their loosey-goosey, not playing with any pressure on them. But I think given his choice, he'd rather play Tampa Bay than the Yankees.
Exactly. That all sounds good in case you lose.
A little bit up and in again. Girardi does a very good job of framing those pitches and making them look a little bit closer to the strike zone than they are.
Curveball again from Andy Pettit. Watch Girardi turn that glove back in toward the inside corner and just missed getting the call. Almost stole one there.
Two pitch. Foul ball. O'Leary, the runner at first, with 2 outs. 2-1 Red Sox. They've taken the lead on Mike Stanley's homer off Andy Pettitte here in the 6th inning. Line to left, but the day is there to end the inning. Red Sox get 2 against Pettitte on the home run by Mike Stanley. Red Sox and Yankees, eye to eye, toe to toe, here at Yankee Stadium. You're watching Red Sox baseball, the JCS New England Television Network.
What's your favorite pastime? Could it be getting a great deal? Well, McDonald's steps up to the plate with hot, juicy hamburgers for just 39 cents every Wednesday and 49-cent cheeseburgers every Sunday. And our new Mickey D's Dollar Deals every day.
But he always brings me a toy from Chicago.
I know, sweetie, but he doesn't have to go through Chicago anymore. He gets to come straight home and play with you.
But I always get a toy when he stops.
But Daddy flies Delta now on all his business trips from Boston.
But they're non-stop!
Of all the airlines in Boston, Delta has the most non-stops to the most places. We think most of you will be pleased. Delta Airlines, non-stop, non-stops.
Motor Trend said, if you're considering a BMW, Mercedes, Audi, or Lexus, put the Lincoln LS on your test drive list. The all-new 2000 Lincoln LS luxury sport sedan. It's the Lincoln you never expected. Lincoln LS. Now at your Lincoln dealer.
What are you?
I'm not from around here.
Where are you from?
An exciting start to this 3-game series. The Red Sox lead the Yankees 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Let's update you on the situation in the National League involving the teams in contention for the playoff spots. Atlanta has a 3-game lead over the Mets heading into today's action. Both teams are on the West Coast. Atlanta is at San Francisco tonight with John Smoltz on the mound. The Mets are at Los Angeles. After beating the Dodgers last night, they'll have Al Leiter against Darren Dreifert. The Cubs lead Houston 4-1 in the 5th inning. Cole Liniak, the former Red Sox minor leaguer, traded to the Cubs in the Rod Beck deal, has an RBI double for Chicago. Cincinnati leads Florida 4-2. Eddie Taubensee has driven in 3 runs. Scott Brocious lines one to deep left. O'Leary retreating, and he makes the leaping catch. Brocious hit a bullet on the first pitch of the inning. And O'Leary timed the leap perfectly to make it 11 in a row, retired by Martinez.
2 hardest hits balls tonight. Obviously, the home run by Chili Davis, and this line drive by Brocious, but an excellent jump by O'Leary. And again, he continues to play very solid defense in left field for the Red Sox. And this is a tough left field to play here, too, in Yankee Stadium. Very big.
Lots of room. 399 in the power alley here. Back to the softer toss for Martinez. They get Girardi out in front of it. Girardi called out on strikes in the 3rd. The Yankees have just 1 hit. They've had 2 base runners. Pedro's faced 1 over the minimum. The 1 hit, the homer by Chili Davis back in the 2nd. Martinez has panned 8, including all 3 hitters last inning. He struck out the side for the 15th time this year. Oh, 0-2 on Girardi, and then the leadoff man Chuck Knobloch. The pitch. He just got a piece of that one. Well, the hit's always hard to come by against Pedro, but particularly lately, you'll recall in his last outing against Seattle, he allowed only 2 hits in 8 innings. And tonight, 1 hit in 5 innings. 3 hits for the opponents in the last 13 innings over 2 starts. That's fouled into the upper deck. 2. Fastball outside.
Pedro here might try to put him away with the curveball. Had terrible swings the first 2 swings against the breaking ball. Nope, fastball away.
For strike 3, painted the corner again. 9 strikeouts for Martinez.
Well, maybe Pedro figuring Girardi was thinking about that breaking ball. Instead, he'll buzz him away with the fastball. Pinpoint control for Pedro on this pitch. If you swing at that and make contact, you hope you just foul it off.
Another pitch well framed by Veritek. 12 in a row retired by Pedro. He's 1 strikeout away from another game of 10 strikeouts or more. He's fanned at least 11 in each of his last 4 starts. He just missed with that one to Chuck Knobloch. Knobloch, one of the 2 Yankee base runners tonight. He was hit by a pitch to start the first and was thrown out trying to steal by Veritek. And he popped out to the third baseman, Veras, near the mound in the 3rd. 2-1 Red Sox, 6th inning. Knobloch ducked out of the way. That might have fooled the umpire too. Looked like it curved back and had much of the plate.
Remember, this guy is right on top of home plate, so even when he goes back off the plate, ducking away from a pitch, there's a chance it could be a strike. Look how close he is. Watch where the hands go.
Fastball popped into the middle of Veritek for strike 1. Knobloch's had a much better second half offensively than he did in the first half. Since mid-June, he's at .316 to raise his average almost 40 points. Now there's another flinch that seemed to fool the umpire. What was wrong with that pitch?
Well, it seems to me tonight for Jim Reynolds, if he's just having an off night, it's a flip a coin kind of night. I mean, that's a perfect pitch.
Yeah, that was right over the heart of the plate at perfect height. I mean, you couldn't say anything about it. About being high or inside or outside. Knobloch chases the high fastball on the 3-1 pitch, and Veras appears to have room. He does, and he makes the catch in the coach's box to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Pedro. He set down the last 13 Yankees. And the Red Sox lead 2-1 after 6.
Need new struts? Come to Midas. Get a genuine Midas Gold strut with R2 technology for only $59.95 with a lifetime guarantee. Go safely. Go Midas.
It's time for E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online.
We brought you the compact pickup ranked best in initial quality, the fun-to-drive Neon, and sophisticated technology you can afford. Now, here's what's new from the new Dodge. The Dodge Summer Clearance, with exceptional savings on Dakota. Generous cash allowances on select models. Or special 0.9% financing for 60 months. What's new from the new Dodge? Just catch the Dodge Summer Clearance.
Now at Pep Boys, get a great deal on Valvoline. Only 99 cents a quart. Save on Valvoline just 99 cents. And don't miss our 2 for $3 offer on any Purolator oil and air filter. Only at Pep Boys.
Cars like us. People love us.
On to the 7th inning at Yankee Stadium. The Red Sox lead 2-1. All of the scoring in this game on homers. Yankees took a 1-0 lead in the second on a Chili Davis home run. Mike Stanley put the Red Sox on top with an opposite field homer off Andy Pettitte last inning. Here's Wilton Veras to begin the 7th, and he takes a breaking ball down and away. Veras bounced back to the mound in the 3rd and hit into a 5-4-3 double play in the 5th. Jose Offman and Darren Lewis to follow. A bullet and a fair ball out of the reach of the diving Brocious and down into the left field corner. It hugs the wall for a while before it's retrieved by Leday, and Wilton Veras has a leadoff double.
Veras doing a good job that time waiting on the curveball from Andy Pettit. And he'll rifle it right by Scott Brocious down that third base line. You got to be very careful in that corner as you head into left field. We'll see Leday take his time to make that play. Sometimes it hits that cement part of the wall, which is below the padding. Get by that left fielder, and you're talking about 3, maybe 4.
Yankee fans are cheering because some other fans have been posting K's for Pedro out in the left field in the upper deck, and the fans ripped them down and threw them down below. Jose Offerman up there. He was squaring to bunt, and he looked at a ball. Jose singled to left in the 5th inning, 1 for 3. Red Sox out hitting the Yankees now 8-1. Yankees in tight at the corners. Jeter very close to Veras, the runner at second. The outfield around toward right and shallow. The ball high. Jerry Remy covering Wally's ear so he doesn't hear this bad language from the Yankee fans. There's Jeff Nelson in the bullpen. 2-0. Let's see if Jimmy leaves the bunt on now that Offerman has the count in his favor. He does, and it's ball 3. The Red Sox would love to see Offerman walk. Then you could have Lewis and go up there and bunt if need be. Mel Stottlemyre, the pitching coach, is on the phone. Wendell Kim's all the way down the line to chat with Offerman. Don't know if there was a missed sign earlier or if Wendell's just trying to make sure there isn't one now.
Offerman may have been just taking a pitch on his own, squaring around the bunt to take a strike. I'll tell you, it'd be a nice play, Sean, if you get Lewis up at the plate. If Offerman walks, hit and run first pitch, because you know Pettit's going to be trying to throw a strike.
That's ball 4. He walked him on 4 pitches when Offerman was just trying to sacrifice. Pettit has walked 3. And here comes Mel Stottlemyre. Mike Stanton, former Red Sox lefty, is throwing alongside Nelson. Red Sox lead 2-1 with a chance to add to that lead here in the 7th inning against Pettit.
See, my guess here, Sean, if you sacrifice Lewis and it's successful, first base will be open. I'm thinking they'll probably walk Nomar, set up a possible double play with Stanley. That's why I would let Lewis go ahead and swing away. Maybe put a play on a hit and run play. But I think you're going to lose Nomar if you do advance a couple of runners.
Of course, Stanley's had the big night, and he is a candidate to hit into a double play. And he had no history of success against Pettit prior to tonight. Mike Stanley was 0 for 10 lifetime before going 3 for 3 tonight. On Zimmer. That's a play he'd like. A hit and run on the first pitch. 2 men on.
Seen him hit and run with the bases loaded.
Yankees anticipating a bunt from Lewis. He does turn, and he drops it down. A very good bunt. Girardi tries third. Safe is Veras. And a good play by Brocious to prevent that ball from going down the left field line.
Well, thank you very much, Joe Girardi, because he had very little chance to get Veras at third and almost threw the ball away. Now, there's good bunting fundamentals right there by Darren Lewis. I couldn't see Girardi making even an attempt at third base on this. He should have got the sure out at first base and got at least 1 out in this inning.
Yes, they've scored that a sacrifice, and he reached on the fielder's choice. They haven't posted a hit. So now the bases are full of Red Sox, and they can't pitch around Nomar. He's going to bat with the bases loaded and the infield in. It looks like the infield's going to be in, and it looks like Nomar's going to be facing Jeff Nelson, because here comes Joe Torre. Randy Pettit shut out the Red Sox through the first 5 innings, but they got to him for 2 runs last inning, and they've loaded the bases with nobody out here in the 7th. Another good outing for Pettit, but he cannot win it. He can only be the losing pitcher. He'll hope his teammates get him off the hook for the loss. Red Sox trying to expand a 1-run lead. Jeff Nelson, the new pitcher, right after this.
We argue all the time as to who has the better lawn.
They're all envious of my Scott lawn, definitely.
Scott does it for all 3 of us.
Now, during the summer, my grass takes a beating.
Heavy sun, droughts.
What the grass needs is turf builder.
About September, I put on a turf builder.
It pumps it up, it rejuvenates it.
Gives it that extra punch for the roots.
You gotta feed it.
It's beautiful lawn. Look at that. Look at that. Nice and green.
It's thick, flush.
Fall is the best time of year to put down Scott's turf builder.
Do you need fast allergy relief? Then you need the power of Zyrtec. Prescription Zyrtec starts working fast and lasts 24 hours. In studies, drowsiness was the most common side effect. Others included fatigue and dry mouth. Most were mild or moderate. To learn more about Zyrtec, ask your doctor or pharmacist. So when you need fast allergy relief, remember the power of Zyrtec.
Back at Yankee Stadium, the Red Sox have the 2-1 lead and threatening to do a lot of damage here in the top of the 7th. Fans of all ages should come to Fenway September 24th and 5th for the 1999 Coca-Cola Fan Appreciation Days. All fans entering Fenway Park receive a 12-month calendar with the games scheduled for the year 2000, and additional prizes will be awarded to lucky fans each day, compliments of Coca-Cola. Tickets can be purchased at the Red Sox ticket office or by calling 617-482-4SOX for 24-hour touchstone ticketing. Jeff Nelson on to try to get out of this mess, this bases-loaded mess that the Red Sox have right now. Nelson spent some time this year on the disabled list, had surgery, bone chips removed from his right elbow. Always tough on right-handed hitters, get that big sweeping breaking ball, and sometimes they criticize him for throwing that too much. He doesn't give enough credit to his fastball.
A lot of walks, as you can see from those numbers. 20 walks in 22 innings this year. The good news for Nelson, he doesn't give up many home runs, just 1 home run allowed this season. He's had 2 stints on the disabled list. Missed most of May. Better than 3 weeks in May on the DL with inflammation of the right elbow. And then, as Jerry said, he had surgery, arthroscopic surgery, to remove some inflammatory tissue in the small bone spur on June 8th. He was on the disabled list from June 8th until August 11th. He comes into a very tough spot. The bases are loaded. Darren Lewis, the runner at first. Jose Offerman at second. And Wilton Veras at third. Nobody out, 7th inning. And here's Nomar Garcia-Parra, 0 for 2 with a walk and the run scored in the Stanley homer last inning. Mike Stanley on deck. We're going to play the infield in at the corners and a double play depth up the middle. The outfield straight away. Red Sox could use a big hit for some breathing room here. Give Pedro a cushion. Nomar's been an outstanding hitter throughout his career with the bases full. He hits one down to third. Brocious comes to the plate, and that's all they get. Garcia-Parra reaches on a fielder's choice, but the Yankees get the first out of the inning without a run scoring.
Nice play by Brocious down at third base, going to his left and then getting in position to make a decent throw home. Girardi's thinking about turning a double play, but Nomar too quick down the line to turn it over. Well, here's your choice now. Stanley, who's had a great night, leave him at the plate. If you bring on a left-handed pinch hitter, you're certainly going to get Stanton in the ball game. So obviously you prefer righty against righty than lefty against lefty.
Your left-handed pinch hitting option be Daubach, who's had a very tough go of it lately. Stanley, chance to add to a big night. He has single, doubled, and hit a 2-run homer. 3 for 3. This was the last inning against Andy Pettit with Nomar aboard at first. A home run to right. Framley's first since August 17th, a game at Fenway against Oakland. His 17th of the year. He has 8 career grand slams. He'd settle for a base hit here. There's the good scooping breaking ball by Nelson.
See, that's why his fastball is so important. If he can throw that to strikes every now and then, you just can't sit on that breaking ball.
Nelson's a big guy, 6'8", 235 pounds. The 0-2 way outside. Nelson hails from the Baltimore, Maryland area, now lives in Issaquah, Washington, outside Seattle. He played for several seasons for the Mariners. He's in his 4th year with the Yankees. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Certainly Nelson got away with a little bit of a hanger.
Sure did. That's the one you hope for as a right-handed hitter, the one that stays on the inside part of the plate. Nelson always tries to get that breaking ball away, but that hung out there, and Stanley fouled it straight back.
He's lucky Stanley isn't rounding the bases again.
Well, they say you get one pitch every at bat to hit. That might have been the one.
Stanley hopes he gets another. Butch Husky is on deck. Another 1-2. Back to the mound. Nelson comes to the plate. On the first, a double play. Great work by Nelson. He came in with the bases full and nobody out. The Red Sox did not score. The Yankees will hope that boosts their offense against Pedro. 7th inning stretch in New York. 2-1 Red Sox.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
To be the best takes strength, speed, endurance. Now the best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. New Lamisil AT. Strength. Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed. These take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance. A study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in new Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
I just want to celebrate.
Always ready to go anywhere or do anything. Celebrate that feeling in a new Ford Explorer. Now, during the Ford Authorized Clearance, get a never-before offered 0.9 financing and 500 cash back on all 99 Explorers in stock, saving you over $4,400.
I just want to celebrate.
Yeah, yeah. Celebrate the possibilities in Explorer during the Ford Authorized Clearance at your New England Ford dealer.
Boston Red Sox baseball is being brought to you in part by your New England Ford dealer. Stop by a New England Ford dealer for savings on great new Ford cars and trucks. Now back at Yankee Stadium, a 2-1 lead. The Red Sox miss a golden opportunity to do some big-time damage. To remind you, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox. Well, Jeff Nelson getting out of trouble with the ball right back through the box. And he'll make a nice play on a tough hop, and this time Girardi can turn over the double play because it's Stanley going down the line. So, boy, big opportunity there wasted by the Red Sox to blow this game wide open.
And that keeps the pressure on Pedro Martinez, who usually responds to that quite well. They've had chances to make it much easier for Pedro. The Red Sox have left 8 men on in, hit into 2 double plays. Derek Jeter takes a fastball for ball 1. Jeter's 0 for 2. And he and Garcia Parra started the night tied for the league lead in hitting, and neither of them has a hit. Nomar's 0 for 3 with a walk. Jeter is struck out and fly to right. Fouls that one back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeter, Paul O'Neill, and Bernie Williams coming up.
Well, if the Yankees are going to strike against Pedro Martinez, you'd figure it'd be this inning. They get out of a major jam, give themselves a chance to stay in this ball game. The crowd is into it now, and we'll see how Pedro responds.
Relatively low pitch count for Pedro. He's thrown just 81. That's a pace that would allow him to complete the game if he could stay on it. The 1-1 to Jeter. Strike 2. Martinez has retired 13 in a row. Last Yankee base runner, Chili Davis, who circled the bases with a 2-out homer in the second. Now the 1-2 pitch. Fouled out of play into the upper deck on the right side.
Fastball up and in by Pedro with 2 strikes, and Jeter fouling it off.
Pedro looking for punch out number 10. A little bit up and away. Oakland leads Tampa Bay 5-0 in the 8th inning in St. Petersburg. Toronto leads Detroit 4-2 in the 8th inning at Tiger Stadium. Pedro got several signs from Veritek. Just as he started to wind up, Jeter asked out after the long wait. Now he has a sign he likes, the 2-2 pitch. Fouled out of play to the right. When you talk to the Yankee people, they'll say really Jeter is the only Yankee among the everyday players who's had a better year than last year. Most of the rest of them have dropped off their performance of a year ago. Jeter made a conscious effort to increase his power this year, get stronger, drive the ball, and he's done that. 2-2 pitch. Another one fouled off.
Zimmer was doing interviews prior to the game. They were talking about the old-time shortstops that he played with and against to compare him to today's shortstop, and he said there's no comparison. He says, you got kids out here now, 6'4", 6'5". They got power. They can hit home runs. They can play the position. He says they're better.
Another 2-2. And Jeter's worked the count full. So you have the best pitcher in the league on his way to winning the Cy Young Award. And against the player competing for the batting title and perhaps the American League MVP in Derek Jeter. And this one-on-one duel comes down to this pitch. Strike 3 on the corner. Jeter protests briefly, but Pedro has his 10th strikeout, his 5th game in a row with at least 10.
I think more than anything else, Jeter's surprised on this 3-2 pitch to get the curveball. We'll take a quick look to Jim Reynolds, have a very brief discussion with him, but there's the reaction from Martinez, happy that the home plate umpire gave him the call.
And again, there was that moment's hesitation by Reynolds. You see Pedro's mouth open. I don't think he thought for a second he was going to get that call. Paul O'Neill, the hitter, he has twice grounded out to the first baseman, Mike Stanley. He takes the ball just low. Five straight games with at least 10 strikeouts for Pedro. He's now 100 strikeouts ahead of the next nearest pitcher in the American League, Chuck Finley of Anaheim. He's going to win the Cy Young Award. It should be a unanimous vote.
I would think so, Sean. I can't see anybody else that even comes close to what Pedro's accomplished this season.
Pedro struck out 15 Seattle Mariners in his last outing. The start before that, he struck out 11 Royals at home. Close, but a ball. 2-1. On August 24th in Minnesota, he fanned 15, and he struck out 11 Oakland A's at Fenway on August 19th. Those were his 4 starts prior to tonight. 2-1 on O'Neill. Three and 1. Martinez has not walked a man. The Yankees have had 2 base runners who were just joining us. Pedro barely hit Chuck Knobloch, just grazed him as the first bat of the night. Then Knobloch was thrown out trying to steal. Chili Davis hit a home run into the seats and right in the second inning, the 2 out, and that's it for Yankee base runners. Pedro's faced 1 over the minimum. They haven't had a runner, the Yankees, since the Davis homer. 14 in a row. Sent back to the dugout by Pedro, and O'Neill asked for time with the 3-1 upcoming.
Tough part of the batting order for Martinez. Jeter, who he's already got. You got O'Neill. You got Bernie Williams.
And because the offense hasn't been able to do much tonight, Pedro's still in that situation where one mistake can be fatal.
Yeah, that last pitch is a good example why it's so tough to face Pedro Martinez. You never know what he's going to throw you in any one count. Now, it's a 3-1 count to O'Neill. He didn't give in with the fastball, but you don't know if it's going to be the changeup or the curveball on 3-1. This time he elects to go with the curveball, and O'Neill fouls it off. 3 pitches that he has confidence in any count.
He has tremendous confidence. It's a big part of his success, and why wouldn't he be confident with his ability? Here comes the payoff to O'Neill. Struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 7th. 11 for the ball game. He's retired 15 in a row now, 9 of them via the strikeout.
After the curveball, the follow-up fastball inside corner. I don't know what the radar reading was on that pitch, but I'm going to have to guess it was up around 95 miles an hour. Still good velocity.
Pedro with a chance to strike out the side for the 2nd time tonight. He did it in the 5th inning. And that's at least 11 strikeouts in each of the last 5 games. First pitch to Williams, a strike at the knees. Bernie, contending for the batting title, has lost 1 point on his batting average tonight with an 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. Chuck Knobloch's the only Yankee who has not struck out tonight. Strike 2. Perfect location on that pitch, and he's a strike away from striking out the side again. The 0-2 pitch. He struck him out. Martinez strikes out the side for the 2nd time tonight. He spanned 12 Yankees. An unbelievable pitching performance by Pedro through 7 innings. He's 1 mistake to Chili Davis away from a no-hitter right now. But it's still just a 1-run lead for Boston.
Okay, Louis, take it away.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the crowd. Yeah.
I don't care if I never get back, so let's root. Root for the home team.
If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's
at the old ball game. I like that.
That fella can sing, huh?
You know the feeling of driving a new car. Celebrate that feeling during the Ford Authorized Clearance. As low as 0.9% APR for 36 months or up to $2,000 cash back on Contour, Escort, and ZX2. $1,000 cash back plus 0.9 on Taurus. Either way, it's practically in your driveway. That new car feeling is closer than you think during the Ford Authorized Clearance at your New England Ford dealer.
New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer. New England Ford dealer.
Napa application engineered brakes can stop you 20 feet shorter than ordinary brakes. That's important. Because you can't always count on there being 20 extra feet of road when you need it. Napa, over 200,000 parts, and every one's important.
Scintillating action here at Yankee Stadium. The Red Sox lead 2-1. Chili Davis homer to the second for New York. That's the only hit for the Yankees. Mike Stanley hit a 2-run homer to give Pedro Martinez the lead. Pedro's retired 16 Yankees in a row. He just struck out the side in the seventh, striking out the side for the second time tonight.
And how's that for a response after the Red Sox getting a double play? You figure the Yankees have some momentum going now. Well, Pedro answered that.
He certainly did. He spanned 7 of the last 9 Yankee hitters while retiring all of them. Here's Butch Husky to lead off against Jeff Nelson. Huskies 0 for 3, 3 fly balls. O'Leary and Buford to follow. Nelson came in last inning, the bases loaded, nobody out. The Red Sox did not score. We got Nomar to ground out to third. The third baseman Brocious threw home for a force play. And then Mike Stanley had to come back into the mound, and Nelson went home to start a 1-2-3 double play. Breaking ball up and in on Husky. Oakland and Tampa Bay now in the 9th, with the Athletics leading 5-0. 1-1 pitch from Nelson. To Hopper to short. Jeter to Martinez. 1 out. Here's Troy O'Leary working on a perfect night. 2 singles and a walk. Here comes Joe Torre first, with Troy up next. He may summon a lefty from the bullpen. And he will. So Nelson pitches an inning and a third. It's credit for an inning and a third, even though he faced only 3 batters. And Mike Stanton, the left-hander, will come in to pitch to Troy O'Leary. Red Sox lead 2-1 in the 8th inning. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
The Avis Preferred Service System linked by network, so without so much as signing a name, your car and keys are waiting. Still, at Avis, we know technology doesn't try harder. People do.
Running late, Mr. Spencer?
Yeah, huge presentation.
How about I call ahead for directions?
That would be great.
I'll drop you right at your car.
Speed and personal service. It's what everyone at Avis is dedicated to delivering. We try harder for you.
Hey! Fur is dead, man! Aw, you know I can't dry clean this. It's my body.
Sheesh, that's gonna stain.
You know, a little seltzer will take that right out.
Oh.
Where are you from?
Here?
Canada. Nice.
Oh, it is, except for the sleeping on cold rocks part.
I've got a waterbed.
Check, please.
Labatt Blue, pure Canada.
Back at Yankee Stadium, a 2-1 Red Sox lead here in the top of the 8th. Let's go back and take a look at Pedro Martinez's 3 strikeouts in the bottom of the 7th inning. First, it was Derek Jeter on the curveball. A fastball by O'Neill. And then the curveball of Bernie Williams. And that answered the momentum that the Yankees might have picked up with that double play with the bases loaded. It's taking care of business all by yourself. Left-hander Mike Stanton on for the Yankees for the 65th time this year, a record of 1-2. Stanton's had a good year, 50 strikeouts in 54 2/3 innings, only 16 walks. Opponent's hitting .270 off Stanton. Seems to find a winning team wherever he goes.
Yes.
Atlanta, Red Sox, Yankees,
Some players have good fortune that way of winding up on good teams. Stanton leads their staff in appearances, making his 65th appearance tonight. That ties him with Mike Trombley of Minnesota for third in the league, behind Buddy Groom of Oakland and Bob Wells of Minnesota.
Buddy Groom pitches every day.
Yes.
At least one batter.
Stan comes in with 1 out and nobody on in the Red Sox 8th, and Troy O'Leary the batter. Well, he's actually hit better for an average, as we showed you earlier, against lefties this year. No swings, said Durwood Merrill on the appeal. Much higher average against the lefties. And he helped that average tonight with the 2 for 2 against Pettit. And many more home runs, 23 of his 25 against right-handed pitchers. The ball low. Andy Pettit started for New York. He went 6 innings plus 3 batters in the 7th. He allowed 2 runs, both earned on 8 hits. The big one, the Mike Stanley home run. Pettit walked 3 and struck out 2. Jeff Nelson pitched for inning a third. Perfect relief. O'Leary trying to find the gap in right center, and he will. That ball is off the wall on a hop at the 385 mark. And O'Leary has a 3 for 3 night. He's been on base 4 times. And the move for Joe Torre doesn't pay off. Apparently he chose not to pay much attention to O'Leary's numbers, left versus right, while making that pitching change.
Prior to this game, O'Leary only had been 4 for his last 24 at bats. Well, he's answered that tonight. 3 for 3, all 3 hits coming against left-handed pitching. This time the double, ball out to the 385 mark. Well, another run would look awful big for the Red Sox. They still have to get 6 more Yankee outs. Give Pedro a little breathing room.
And Damon Buford's had a lot of chances to give the Red Sox some breathing room. He's 0 for 3. He's come up with 5 men on over those 3 at-bats and hasn't advanced any of them. He was struck out, grounded to short, and popped to short. 2-1 Red Sox. They're out hitting the Yankees now 9-1. One and one on Buford with Jason Varitek on deck and a right-hander throwing in the Yankee bullpen. Jason Grimsley is warming up. Oakland now leads Tampa Bay 7-0. They're on their way to a win in St. Petersburg in the 9th. Toronto leads Detroit 5-2 in the 8th. The Red Sox will likely need a victory to maintain their 3-game advantage in the wild card, barring an amazing development in St. Petersburg. The 1-2 pitch, fouled out of play to the right. Here's Grimsley. Grimsley's had a good year working out of that Yankee pen. O'Leary at second and 1 out. Another 1-2 to Buford. Strike 3. His tough night continues. Let's pause for station identification. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
You're watching WLVI WB56, Cambridge, Boston.
Sean McDonough, Jerry Remy at sold-out Yankee Stadium. 55,239 in the house that Ruth built tonight. Yankees are on their way to passing the 3 million mark in home attendance for the first time ever. They'll set their single season attendance record tomorrow with another sellout. They have 9 home dates left. Stanton throws a strike to Jason Varitek. Jason's 1 for 3. He singled to right in the 5th. In the 6th, he lined sharply to the left fielder Ricky Ledet. Strike 2. Varitek really didn't like that one.
Want to be nice and polite to that umpire now. You got to get 6 more outs if you want the biggest strike zone you can have for your pitcher.
So we'll take that one if Pedro gets the same pitch. The 0-2. Popped up. Knobloch has it. The Red Sox cannot take advantage of the 1-out double. They've stranded 9. Pedro Martinez heads back to center stage. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the JCS New England Television Network.
Can I have one of your new muffins, please?
Introducing Dunkin' Donuts all-new freshly baked muffins. They're incredibly delicious and bigger than ever before. So you'll love them for a long, long time. Of course, nothing lasts forever. Bigger muffins, bigger taste. New from Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts introduces our brand new Bigger Muffin, now just 99 cents.
Reason to drive one is the unbridled sense of freedom you'll feel knowing how little you paid.
Hey, you hard-working moms, got yourself a dinner emergency? Don't panic,
because the Mega Meal is back at a Mega Madness price of just $15.99. 8 pieces of chicken, not 1, but 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, large coleslaw, 4 biscuits, and a family-sized dessert, all just $15.99. It's the Mega Meal at a Mega Madness price.
At KFC, we do chicken right, at a right good price, too.
Season premiere, Sunday, September 26th at 6 p.m. on WB56.
Well, it's quite possible Pedro Martinez won't need any more help from his teammates. They've certainly had chances to provide him with assistance. Had that 1-run lead, but they're still stuck on 2 runs, and the advantage is 1. 2-1 Boston. Bottom of the 8th. Tino Martinez, Chili Davis, Ricky Leday coming up. Pedro's retired 16 in a row. He's given up just 1 hit on the Davis homer back in the 2nd. The Yankees have not had a base runner since. Pedro struck out the side last inning. He spanned 10 of those 16 batters in a row. He's retired, including Martinez, who whiffed in the 5th. Tino flied to center in the 2nd. The 1-0 pitch. A little bit high. 2-0. He jams Tino, who pops it up in foul ground off first. Mike Stanley has it. 17 in a row for Pedro Martinez. In the American League scoreboard, Seattle and Baltimore tied at 4 in the 9th. Cal Ripken 4 for 4 with an RBI. He has 2,978 hits. Detroit has rallied. Dean Palmer has hit a home run. And the Tigers lead Toronto 6-5 in the 8th. Oakland on its way to victory, leading 7-0 at Tampa Bay in the 9th. Cleveland hammering the White Sox 13-0. Kansas City leads Texas 5-1, and it's Anaheim 4, Minnesota 1 in the 7th. Cleveland has already wrapped up the American League Central. Strike 1 to Chili Davis.
Guess they were somewhere in the air flying back home, I believe, when they found out that they had clinched. Big surprise to a lot of people.
Now, they barely even celebrate that. Mike Hargrove said just a few handshakes and congratulations when they found out they were the division champs again, and that was it. Regular season just a warm-up act. Davis lines one down the right field line, foul.
Davis clearly has been the toughest batter for Pedro to face in this game, not just because of the home run that he hit, but he's really battled him. Last time Pedro eventually won that battle with a strikeout. Here he tries to get that fastball by him again, up and in, and Chile still able to get the head of the bat out and foul it off.
The 0-2 pitch inside. Now the 1-2. He struck him out. That was clearly a swing. Varitek applies the tag. 13 Ks for Martinez.
Breaking ball, the curveball, never really a strike. Down and in, and this becomes a blind spot for a left-handed hitter. Chili Davis cannot hold up on the swing, and Pedro continues to pile him up.
Swing and a miss by Ricky Leday. Pedro's retired 18 in a row. He struck out 11 of them. He's working on a one-hitter. The Red Sox lead 2-1 with 2 outs and the bases empty in the New York 8th. Leday has struck out twice. Makes a changeup low for a ball. Swing and a miss.
First time he got him with a curveball. Last time he got him with a changeup.
Pedro struck out 4 of the last 5 batters. 8 of the last 11. Make it 9 out of 12. 2 more strikeouts in the 8th inning for Pedro. He has fanned 14 members of the defending New York champion, or world champion New York Yankees. And we go to the 9th. You're watching a masterpiece. The Red Sox lead 2-1.
Flying to Baltimore for business? If these 19 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, maybe this will. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA.
You are now free to move about the country.
Buy 4 Michelin tires now and get a free emergency roadside kit. Play the Michelin Buy 4 and Score game and maybe win a Dodge Viper, plus other great prizes. See your participating Michelin dealer by October 31st.
When the male is in pursuit of the female, the slightest scent of unpleasantness may send the female running. Thus, Right Guard Clear Gel or Clear Stick. Powerful protection from odor and wetness that glides on clear. Right Guard. Anything less would be uncivilized.
When you drive a Ford truck, you're ready for whatever the world brings on. Now you can celebrate that feeling of confidence during the Ford Authorized Clearance. We're moving out the 99s to make room for the 2000s. With financing as low as 0.9 for 36 months and up to $1,000 cash back on your favorite pickups. I just want to celebrate. Celebrate the thrill of a new Ford truck. Now during the Ford Authorized Clearance at your New England Ford dealer.
Boston Red Sox baseball is being brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. And by your New England Ford dealer. Stop by your New England Ford dealer for savings on great new Ford cars and trucks. Well, after a while, you run out of superlatives to describe what Pedro Martinez is doing. Just when you think you can't see him pitch a better game than the last one, he does. Last time out against the Mariners, 2 hits allowed in 8 innings. Tonight, 1 hit allowed in 8 innings. He's retired 19 straight batters, while striking out 12 of them, 14 Ks in all without a walk.
Doesn't get any better than that, I guess, unless you pitch a no-hitter. But this is one of the most dominating performances you'll ever witness against a very, very good offense.
Wilson Veras trying to find the gap, drives it to right center. It's off the glove of O'Neill and in for a hit. O'Neill is injured, it seems, or at least very slow to get up as Veras makes his way into third with a triple. And O'Neill slipped on a clump of grass. Looked for a moment like he was grabbing his leg, but he's all right. Big divot. We talked earlier about all the rain here over the last couple of days, particularly this morning. It's one of the few examples we've seen of the wet field causing a fielder a problem.
What a great effort out here by O'Neill, but just cannot quite make the play. And once he gets by him, it's 3 bases. But Wilton Veras, see O'Neill digging up that turf and laying on the ground for a while. He's okay, though. Doesn't need any attention. Will the Red Sox squeeze to try to get another run?
Well, if they don't take advantage of this opportunity, we'll fill in the rest of that blank. But this is their best chance. They've left 9 men on and hit into 2 double plays. Infield in for Offerman, who takes a breaking ball for a strike. Jose singled in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. He walked while trying to sacrifice in the 7th inning after Veras led off that inning with a double. So a good night for Wilton, a double and a triple. Infield in, outfield shallow and straight away. That's left and a right. There's the big base hit the Red Sox have been looking for, and it's a 3-1 lead.
Now that has been the most compact swing that Offerman has had all night. He's taken some swings like he's trying to hit a home run in his other at-bats. This time he gets a fastball away and just punches it to the opposite field. Infield drawn in, that's all you've got to do. Pokes it right by Tino Martinez, and the Red Sox now have a 2-run lead.
And Joe Torre is on his way to the mound. Darren Lewis due up. Reason to smile for Pedro.
Veras
pitching with the narrowest of margins since the Red Sox gave him the lead in the 6th inning. It's been a 1-run lead until that hit by Offerman.
But the night Veras has had a double, a triple, and very good defense down at third.
It's the first run charged to Stanton. He leaves having allowed 3 hits and a run in 2/3 of an inning. He's responsible for Offerman. And Jason Grimsley, a right-hander, is trotting in from the bullpen to face Darren Lewis in a possible sacrifice situation. The Red Sox lead by 2 in the 9th.
Book your travel online with Southwest Airlines, and you'll automatically get double Rapid Rewards flight credits, which means 4 round trips get you a free ticket and some downtime for your computer. And American Express card members can use membership rewards points to earn free Southwest Airlines tickets even faster.
You are now free to move about the country.
I don't think it's possible for Mr. Nixon to state the record in distortion of the facts with more precision than he just did.
Senator Kennedy simply doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't feel a real effort has been made.
Senator Kennedy's position and mine are completely different on this.
I always have difficulty recognizing my positions when they're stated by the Vice President.
I resent that comment.
When he's never really protested the communists seizing Cuba 90 miles off the coast of the United States.
We all have tempers. I have one. I'm sure Senator Kennedy has one.
Red Sox will need to win this ball game to maintain their 3-game advantage in the wild card race over Oakland, as Oakland has defeated Tampa Bay 7-2 behind Tim Hudson. What a rookie year he's having now. 10-1 as he defeated Wilson Alvarez. Jason Giambi hit a home run. They've had a back-and-forth ball game in Detroit. Toronto has pulled back even with the Tigers at 6-6. They're in the 9th on the corner of Michigan and Trumbull. So for the moment, Oakland has gained a half game. The Red Sox will try to push them back to 3 games back if they can win this one. And here's the 4th pitcher of the night for New York, the veteran righty, Jason Grimsley.
A lot of decisions working out of the bullpen for Grimsley. 7-2. 51st appearance. 47 strikeouts. Grimsley, a good sinker ball. Generally gets a lot of ground ball outs.
The Yankees looking for a bunt from Darren Lewis with Offerman at first and nobody out. 1 run in here in the 9th. On the triple by Veras and the single by Offerman.
I'm looking for a hit and run. I've been looking for it all night.
You just have to talk a little louder. Maybe Jimmy will hear you. Lewis squared a bunt, took a ball up and away. Lewis 0 for 3 with a sacrifice his last time up. Lewis tried to bunt. Well, they took the bat back in time, and it's called ball 2. He'll be followed by Nomar Garcia-Parra. Then Mike Stanley is due. There's a strike on the corner, 2-1. Grimsley, 32 years old, a native Texan. Now lives in Lafayette, Louisiana. Grimsley spent all of the last 2 seasons in the minors. Last year in the Cleveland organization with their AAA club Buffalo. The year before that in the Kansas City and Milwaukee organization. In the big leagues this year for the first time since '96, and in danger now of walking. Lewis is trying to sacrifice. The count is 3-1. Joe Torre has Dan Nolte, another right-hander, warming up in the bullpen. Jason Grimsley played baseball in high school in Texas, but couldn't pitch his last 2 seasons. Had a broken wrist as a junior and a sore shoulder as a senior. Lewis swings away on 3-1, hits it slowly to short. That will move the runner along. Darren's out. And now Offerman's at second with 1 out.
Very strange there. He had him bunting in just about every count. Now you go to 3-1 where you're positive he's going to get a strike. He's swinging away, but yet the runner is not going. Fortunately, the ball's not hit hard enough, and they get the man in the scoring position. Well, my strategy tonight is not even close.
Well,
but I would have had him running on a 3-1 count.
I think you're right. If you're going to let Lewis swing,
might as well send him.
Might as well send the runner.
See, here's the problem with the bunt. If he hadn't been successful with the bunt, like Offerman would have been at second, you lose Garcia-Parra. Now the question is, with only right-handers throwing, do you pinch it for Stanley? And he generally tries to leave his best defensive team in the field when he has the lead. Stanley would be the best defensive first baseman he has.
Well, is he that much better than Daubach?
I think he is.
Okay.
That's just my view.
Well, that's your story, and you're sticking with it. So Nomar walks for the second time. He's 0 for 3. This is an intentional walk. Only the 5th time this year Nomar's been intentionally walked.
But you would expect it to be a lot more without Bourne in the lineup.
Yes.
But it has not been the case. They know Nomar is a free swinger, and he, will swing at pitches out of the zone. So what they do, instead of just intentionally walk him, they'll try to tease him with some pitches away, see if he'll go after it.
Mike Stanley's been at the center of the action all night long. He has singled, doubled. He hit the 2-run homer in the 6th to provide the Red Sox with their first runs and the 2-1 lead. Then he came up with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 7th and bounced into the inning-ending 1-2-3 double play. 2 men on again for Stanley and 1 out in the 9th. The Red Sox lead 3-1. Base hit left field. Offerman had to freeze for a moment to see if Brocious would catch it. And Wendell Kim has to stop him at third. Leday on the ball quickly and very shallow left. It's a 4-hit night for Stanley. And the bases are loaded again for the Red Sox with 1 out.
Stanley picking on that first pitch. The line drive quickly by Brocious. And with the line drive, as you mentioned, Sean, Offerman had to put the brakes on at second, so there's no way that Kim could try to score him, even though there's 1 out. Holy cow, look at this shot.
That's from the JCS blimp.
And that backs up what we just said, how he had to freeze.
Yes. So here's Husky, and wouldn't this be a great time for Butch to break out of this prolonged slump? And he's 0 for 4 tonight, 3 fly balls and a ground out. He's now 1 for 19 on the road trip. Check swing at a ball low. That's a strike, said the first base umpire, Rocky Rowe.
Well, I may be wrong because Husky will probably get a base hit, or maybe even a grand slam as we look at his numbers with the bases loaded. But here's where I would have gone with Jefferson. Low ball pitcher, low ball hitter.
And no lefty in the bullpen.
No lefty out there throwing.
Why not? Jefferson's done a good job lately chiming in when he's played. They have a struggling right-handed hitter up there. You don't have to put Jefferson in the field. Huskies the DH. Reggie Jefferson himself, who had the interesting quote in the paper today about Jimmy Williams. Something along the lines of anybody who understands baseball knows that what Jimmy does often doesn't make sense. Oh boy, did that bounce up and hit him in the face? It's a foul ball, and Huskies down on the ground along the first baseline. Did they call him out?
They may have, because he may have been out of that batter's box when it hit him again.
I think they called him out.
Let's see where it hits Husky and if he's out of the box.
No, it came right up and hit him.
Yeah, no, he can't. He shouldn't be out. He was not even, he didn't have a chance to move out of the batter's box.
Well, the scoreboard has posted 2 outs.
That's an uppercut right there.
And just to give you Reggie Jefferson's exact quote in today's paper, we'll look again at the replay. Ouch. Anybody with any baseball knowledge knows that there's no rhyme nor reason to how Jimmy does things, Reggie Jefferson says. I hate to say it, but it's working. Here we are heading to playoffs, and hopefully we'll keep on heading there. And there was an article by Gordon Eads pointing out how well Reggie's accepted his part-time role. And Husky's going to stay in the ball game.
I don't think Reggie criticizing Jimmy.
No, he wasn't. He was saying, hey, some
the way he does
things don't make much sense.
He doesn't sit there every day when he makes the lineup and say, okay, let's see, Jefferson's hitting 990 against this guy, Husky's hitting 220. Well, I better get Reggie. He just doesn't do it that way.
See Wendell Kim making sure the runners realize there are 1 out. There is 1 out because the scoreboard had posted 2 outs. A 2-1 count on Husky. Actually, it should be 1-2. It was a foul ball off his chin, I believe. And there is strike 3. So our scoreboard was wrong as well, but we've got it straightened out now. The first strike, you'll recall, was on the appeal check swing. Then there was a foul ball off his chin, and then that one. So a big strikeout for Grimsley. It's always a little wacky when you come to Yankee Stadium. But I would say this, as the season has gone along, it seems to me Jimmy Williams has done more and more things that don't always seem to make sense. And what you said about hitting Jefferson for Husky there makes total sense. Why wouldn't you do that? What's the argument against it? But the record speaks for itself. Troy O'Leary, no swing and a miss.
The only argument you could possibly make is if you had a left-hander up in that bullpen, you'd rather have right against right than left against left anytime. But it wasn't the case here. There was no lefty loosening up.
No, it makes no sense. And you don't want Jefferson run Dahlbach up there if you have to. O'Leary's had a perfect night, a single, a walk, a single, and a double. Bases loaded. 2 outs. 1-1 the count. One big fan of Jimmy Williams is Joe Torre. He said recently that, in his opinion, Jimmy Williams should be the manager of the year in the American League. The Red Sox success this year is a surprise to many. Particularly surprising given A number of key injuries they've had this year. O'Leary hits it up the middle. It's backhanded by Knobloch. He flips to Jeter. And that ends the inning. So the Red Sox have stranded 12 men, but they do manage to get one run across for Pedro here in the ninth. He returns to the mound, trying to put the finishing touches on this gem, leading 3-1.
I just want to celebrate. Always ready to go anywhere or do anything. Celebrate that feeling in a new Ford Explorer. Now, during the Ford Authorized Clearance, get a never-before-offered 0.9 financing and 500 cash back on all 99 Explorers in stock, saving you over $4,400. I just want to celebrate. Yeah. Celebrate the possibilities in Explorer during the Ford Authorized Clearance at your New England Ford dealer.
Ask your doctor about Viagra.
The Red Sox lead 3-1. They've out-hit New York 12-1, but they've also left 12 men on base. New York has not stranded a base runner because they've had only 2 base runners. Chuck Knobloch, who was hit by a pitch to open the first, he was caught stealing. Their only other base runner, their most recent base runner, was Chili Davis, who homered with 2 outs in the second. Pedro's retired every batter since, all 19 of them. He struck out 12 of those 19. He stands 14 in all. That's 2 shy of his career best. He struck out 16 Atlanta Braves at Fenway on June 4th of this year. The Dominican flags have been out all night long, and they're waving them very proudly for their countryman Martinez. The low hit game of Pedro's career, a one-hitter, July 13th, 1997, for Montreal in a 2-0 shutout victory at Cincinnati. Of course, Pedro pitched 9 perfect innings June 3rd of 1995 at San Diego before losing a bid for a perfect game when Bip Roberts doubled to lead off the 10th. Pedro struck out, or rather retired the first 27 men in that game and struck out 9 before the double. Scott Brocious takes a strike. He is struck out in line to left. Darryl Strawberry has moved into the on-deck circle to bat for Joe Girardi, and then Chuck Knobloch is due. The 1-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Pedro retired the last 2 batters of the 8th inning on strikeouts. He has struck out 5 of the last 6. And 9 of the last 12. The 0-2 pitch. High heat, up and in. Pedro won that game when he flirted for the perfect game back in '95, becoming the only pitcher in Major League history to collect the win after losing a perfect game bid in extra innings. Check swing, strike 3. 15 strikeouts for Pedro for the 3rd time in his last 4 starts. He has retired 20 straight Yankee hitters. 13 of them have fanned.
Pedro has come into their house and taken over their house tonight. Brocious trying to hold up on the swing, could not do so.
You're right. It's the house that Ruth built, but it's the house that Pedro is renovating tonight. With those Dominican flags decorative in the right field bleachers. Here's Darryl Strawberry in just his 8th game since coming back. He looked at ball 1. Strawberry has excelled 13 at bats since being activated, 7 hits, including a homer. A strike. 1-1. They're shifted around in the infield and outfield for Strawberry. 3 infielders on the right. He fouls one off his foot.
Pedro throws his fastball up above the belt. Strawberry will have no chance.
And if he does it, Pedro will have matched his career high in strikeouts with 16. He's fanned 3 in a row. 6 of the last 7. The 1-2 to Strawberry. He struck him out.
Get ahead of Darryl Strawberry when you have that kind of fastball, the way it's working tonight, up above the belt, no chance.
Since the Davis homer in the 2nd inning, only 7 Yankees have put the ball in play. Pedro has retired 21 straight, 14 of them via the strikeout. 16 Ks, and he'll try to finish off this amazing performance by striking out the side in the 9th. He throws strike 1 to Chuck Knobloch, the only Yankee who has had an at-bat tonight who has not struck out at least once. He was hit by a pitch in the 1st. He popped to 3rd in the 3rd and popped out in foul ground to the 3rd baseman Veras in the 6th. 3-1 Red Sox. 2 outs, bases empty in the New York 9th, and Knobloch asks for time. Pedro has fanned 4 in a row and 7 of the last 8. That one just missed. 1-1. He struck out 11 of the last 14 batters, and he paints the outside corner. He's thrown 119 pitches. He's trying to strike out the side for the 3rd time tonight. He did it in the 5th and the 7th. Can he do it in the 9th? The 1-2 to Knobloch. Check swing and a foul ball right back into the press box. Pedro trying to strike out 17 in a game for the 1st time in his career. He's now fanned 16 in a game twice, both this season. Another 1-2. He struck him out. What a brilliant performance by Pedro Martinez. A career-high 17 strikeouts for Pedro. He struck out the last 5 Yankee hitters and 8 of the last 9. He finishes the game retiring 22 Yankees in a row, 15 of them via the strikeout. He faced 1 over the minimum for 9 innings and matches his career best low-hit game. The 2nd time in his career he's thrown a 1-hitter. Important win for the Red Sox. They gain the game on the Yankees in the American League East. They're now 5.5 behind New York with 2 games left in this series. And they maintain their 3-game lead over Oakland. They also gained a game on Toronto in the wild card race as the Blue Jays lost to Detroit tonight 7-6. Well, Toronto's fading now 6.5 games out.
John, I've seen a lot of great games pitched. I've been behind no-hitters. I've been on the other side of no-hitters. Obviously, nothing's as exciting as a no-hitter, but this is as close as you can come to being perfect tonight for Pedro Martinez. Just unbelievable pitching, and that's a game that I personally will never forget him work.
Nor will any of us who were here tonight. Those of you who watched it undoubtedly feel the same way. 1 hit, 2 base runners for the Yankees, and most of the night the defending world champions didn't even come close. And if you think about postseason play, you wonder how anxious the Yankees are to run up against Pedro again.
Well, there were a number of players in that lineup tonight that had no chance against Martinez. None.
81 of his pitches were strikes.
Did not have a walk, right?
Did not have a walk. Hit non-block, and that was just barely. It looked like it barely grazed his uniform. Just the one mistake of a fastball that Davis demolished. And down on the field, Pedro Martinez is putting a headset on to chat with us. Pedro, Sean McDonough, and Jerry Remy up here in the booth. Thanks so much for joining us. We've run out of words to describe your performance tonight. How would you summarize what you did here tonight?
Well, this is just another great game, and I'm just really happy. I feel really good. I felt in command of my pitches all the way, and my teammates played a great game, and they had the key runs that we needed, and I settled for that.
Well, let's forget about the teammates for a minute, Pedro, because they could have put 100 points up there for you tonight. But the fact is, it's one of those games that you must have felt confident in every single pitch you had. The fastball, the curveball, you threw a lot of curveballs tonight, and also the changeup. You had a lot of weapons to get those hitters out.
Yes, I did. I had everything working. I had great command of the breaking ball. I was able to throw it in some counts where Jeter and those guys were expecting something else, maybe the changeup or the fastball, and I was able to just sneak the breaking ball in. But I can't forget about my teammates. They gave me the lead, and that's all I need.
We're only kidding.
Yeah, but to be honest, Pedro, they had a lot of other chances to give you a little more help there, and I'm sure as tight a game as it was and as brilliantly as you were pitching, you were still in a situation where one mistake and all that great work you'd been doing could have been undone. Your teammates had some chances to pad that lead.
I know, but I'll take that. I'll take the lead anytime.
Hey, Pedro,
no matter how many runs they score.
Pedro, what about pitching on this mound? You come into a hostile environment, but you've got a load of fans here, and as that game went on, it started to sound like this was Pedro's house instead of the Yankees' house.
Well, it's pretty much the second time I had the chance to pretty much feel at home. And I remember when I won the Cy Young in '97, they had all kinds of signs in Yankee Stadium. It was my first time pitching here. And tonight, it's just another night where I feel like I'm at home, and I'm with my people.
Well, Pedro, we're talking about you once pitched 9 perfect innings to start a ball game, but how would you rate this among your starts in your career?
Well, this is a great one. There's no doubt, especially against a team like the Yankees that I have to respect and say that they are probably the toughest you can find around. And I mean, that was a great outing. I have to put it right there with the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's certainly an outing that none of us who watch it will ever forget. Congratulations on a great night, Pedro.
Well, thank you very much.
That's Pedro Martinez, who earns victory number 21 in dominating fashion. 1 run on 1 hit for the Yankees on a homer by Chili Davis. That was it. As Pedro strikes out a career-high 17. Final score, the Red Sox 3, the Yankees 1 more from New York after this.
When you buy a bargain basement PC, what you're really buying is a mystery box. Will there be a monitor? Probably not. Lots of software? Ha! A year on the internet, 24/7 tech support? Dream on. With a Gateway Essential PC, you know exactly what you're getting. Monitor, great software, award-winning tech support, and internet access for $28 a month, or less than $1 a day. No mystery there. Call 1-800-GATEWAY for a Gateway Essential PC with an Intel Celeron processor.
We're gonna change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
What kind of rooms you got?
King size.
You got room service?
Donuts and coffee.
Got entertainment?
All rooms have every movie ever made in every language, anytime, day or night.
How is that possible?
Could your business use the bandwidth to change everything? Ride the light. Quest.
The totals for the Red Sox: 3 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. They left 12 men on base. The Yankees: 1 run, just 1 hit, no errors. They didn't leave anybody on base. Tough to do when you don't have any base runners. Pedro Martinez, the winner, and that's the understatement of the night. 21-4. It's a complete game for Pedro, his 4th of the year. Andy Pettit, the loser, 12-11. Time of the game, 2 hours, 53 minutes. The sellout crowd on hand, 55,239. And the Red Sox keep winning.
All I can say is I'm glad I'm not Portugal and have to follow that act tomorrow because it's one of the best I've seen, John. And, you know, as a player behind that, you kind of get caught up in watching.
Yes.
And it's nice to see him strike out all those guys because you don't want to get too many.
No, the fielders didn't have to worry about botching any because there weren't any plays for them. So the Red Sox maintain their 3-game lead in the wild card, and they're now within 5.5 of the Yankees in the American League East. Toronto loses to drop 6.5 out, and the Blue Jays are fading. Once again, the final score of tonight's game, the Red Sox 3 and the Yankees 1. Fox has the action tomorrow. The Red Sox will hope for a good performance from Mark Portugal as he's opposed by Hideki Arabu. And we are next with you on Sunday afternoon for the series finale at 1:30. Brett Saberhagen returns to duty against Roger Clemens. We'll be with you Sunday at 1:30 over these stations. Till then, for Jerry Remy, Sean McDonough saying so long from Yankee Stadium on this memorable night when Pedro Martinez pitched the 1-hitter and struck out 17. Boston Red Sox baseball has been a presentation of the JCS New England Television Network.
Be sure to watch again Sunday afternoon at 1:30 for another matchup against the Yankees on Boston's WB 56.